Chapter 1341. The two underlings were stunned. Their gazes were fixed on the Star-Tech lightning crossbow. They couldn't understand it at all. There's a crossbow-type spiritual weapon? That's rare. What grade is this spiritual weapon? It looks like a blue grade. The two lackeys suddenly felt a bit disappointed. Blue grade spiritual equipment was considered above average here, but Qin Feng had taken out pink and gold grade equipment. How did it suddenly drop to blue grade? Black Pockmark stole a glance at the lightning crossbow. Seeing that it was a blue grade, he was secretly delighted. He didn't feel bad giving it to his two underlings. At this moment, Qin Feng said, "This is not an ordinary spiritual weapon. It's extremely powerful. It's even more powerful than the Great Sage Gold Grade Battle Saber." The two underlings were shocked. However, they quickly regained their senses and looked doubtful. "Brat, do you think we're idiots? How can this broken crossbow be more powerful than Big Brother's gold grade equipment? We're not interested in this broken thing. Quick, take out 2 more gold grade equipment. Otherwise, we'll kill you." These two underlings were treating Qin Feng like Doraemon. Did they think he could take out any spiritual equipment he wanted from his pocket? Qin Feng only had 3 Great Sage Gold Grade Battle Sabers. As for the Red Grade Scarlet Demon Storm Spear, he didn't plan to take it out. He was afraid of scaring the 3 underlings to death. "You two heroes, you haven't seen the power of this crossbow. Of course, you don't know how powerful it is. Why don't you try it out first?" Qin Feng smiled at the two underlings. The two underlings still didn't believe him. However, they thought that it wouldn't be a problem to try it out. One of them snatched the lightning crossbow from Qin Feng's hands and casually pulled it towards the sky. However, there was no reaction. "Fuck! What kind of broken crossbow is this? Are you kidding me, brat?" The underling was instantly enraged. He pulled out his saber and looked like he was going to hack Qin Feng. Qin Feng said, "Big brother, don't be anxious. You don't know how to use it. I'll show you." The lackey was dubious, but he still gave the crossbow to Qin Feng. This was a product of Star Planet technology. If he didn't buy ammunition, how would he be able to fire it? After obtaining the Star Technology lightning crossbow, Qin Feng used his mind to purchase 3 lightning bullets. This thing was quite expensive. 1 lightning bullet cost 10,000 Hedonist points. However, Qin Feng wanted to see how powerful the lightning crossbow was, so he didn't pay too much attention to it. The lackey was a bit impatient and yelled at Qin Feng, "Stinking brat, you must be playing with your elder. Watch me chop you to death." Qin Feng had long disliked the 3 of them. Now that everything was ready, he aimed the lightning crossbow at the person who jumped above his head and fired. Rumble. A loud explosion suddenly sounded, as if a muffled thunder had struck down from the sky. Black Pockmark and the other 2 were startled and instinctively looked towards the sky. A blue bolt of lightning streaked across the sky like a meteor and instantly landed on the body of the lackey who attacked Qin Feng. That person's body leaped into the air, as if he was frozen by the lightning. In the blink of an eye, he suddenly exploded into pieces of flesh and blood. After shooting the arrow, Qin Feng didn't stop at all. He adjusted the direction of the crossbow and shot at another lackey beside him. Rumble. Another muffled explosion sounded in the air and blue lightning surged. The lackey was still on the ground and hadn't come to his senses. In the next moment, he was blasted into pieces and disappeared without a trace. The atmosphere was strange. It was as if the air had frozen. The woman was so frightened that she fell to the ground on her butt. She stared at Qin Feng with wide eyes. The black pockmarked man was still soaring through the sky on his golden whirlwind wheel. He was so frightened by this scene that he fell from the sky. "Stinking brat, you dare to play tricks," In any case, Black Pockmarked was a revered martial artist of the true Qi realm, so his reaction was very sharp. He raised his golden phoenix saber and slashed down. However, halfway through the slash, he was suddenly startled. He felt that his hand was empty, and that dazzling golden saber had disappeared to who knows where. Not only did the golden phoenix disappear, but also the moonmorn in his other hand and the golden whirlwind wheel under his feet. Black Pockmark immediately realized how powerful Qin Feng was. He didn't even have the courage to fight back. He hurriedly ran away on the ground. Ah! Gongzi, he ran away. The woman screamed. Qin Feng looked at the dust in the distance, but he didn't fire the thunder bow in his hand. Black Pockmark was a level 1 true energy realm expert, so he was so fast that Qin Feng couldn't even use his true energy. His reaction speed was also slow, so he couldn't locate Black Pockmark. Qin Feng sighed and put all the spiritual weapons back into the system. He didn't care about Black Pockmark right now. He wanted to know what this place was. Thank you for saving my life, Gongzi. The woman had already walked to Qin Feng's side. When she saw Qin Feng's naked body, she lowered her head shyly. Qin Feng didn't care. He asked, "What's your name?" The woman said, "My name is Hua Xiaozhen." "You can call me Xiaozhen, Gongzi." Qin Feng found that this woman was very obedient. When she spoke, she put her hands by her waist and slightly bent her legs, just like a woman from ancient times. She called him Gongzi again, and Qin Feng felt like he had traveled to ancient times. "Xiaozhen, what is this place?" Qin Feng quickly got to the point. Hua Xiaozhen was stunned. She said, "Gongzi, are you not from here?" "This is Distant Ice City, a bamboo forest on the outskirts of Heyu village." Hua Xiaozhen explained in detail. Qin Feng clearly hadn't heard of these places. He was sure that they weren't from the secular world of Huaxia. "Is this the death door?" Qin Feng continued to ask. Hua Xiaozhen nodded. "Some people call this place the death door. Common people call this place the divine land." Qin Feng was shocked. Wasn't the divine land the name of ancient Huaxia? He suddenly had a terrifying thought. Could it be that this death door was a place developed in ancient times? But because of the concealment spell formation, people from the outside world couldn't enter and discover this place. "Gongzi, I still don't know your name." Hua Xiaozhen suddenly asked while Qin Feng was deep in thought. Qin Feng cast aside the distracting thoughts in his mind. He was now sure that he had entered the death door. As for how this place was formed, he didn't have the time to think about it. After all, his goal in coming to the death door was to take Zhao Ling Xian and his mother Qing Ying away. Then, he would destroy Qiao Shishir's enemy, the Spirit Beast sect, and bring the Spirit Beast Master clan out. "My name is Qiao Feng." Qin Feng wasn't using his original appearance. He had changed his appearance the moment he entered the death door's spell formation. He had suppressed all the disciples of the major sects in the death door. If he used Qin Feng's appearance to enter, he would definitely attract a lot of trouble. "Gongzi Qiao, thank you again for saving my life. I have no way to repay you. If Gongzi Qiao doesn't mind, I can be your servant." Qin Feng had saved Hua Xiaozhen with little effort. He didn't want this woman to be his servant out of gratitude. However, Qin Feng really lacked a guide. He had just entered the death door, so he wasn't familiar with it at all. "Xiaozhen, you don't have to be my servant. Do you know where the Thousand Shadows sect is? Can you take me there?" Qin Feng didn't plan to stay in the death door for too long. He wanted to find the Thousand Shadows sect and the Spirit Beast sect as soon as possible. Hua Xiaozhen was startled. Just hearing the name of the Thousand Shadows sect scared her. "Ah. Qigongzi Qiao is a martial artist. you want to go to the Thousand Shadows sect to be apprenticed to a master? But that sect only accepts female disciples. Of course, Qin Feng wasn't going there to be apprenticed to a master. He casually made up an excuse. I have an acquaintance there. I want to visit. Hua Xiaojun understood and nodded. The Thousand Shadows sect is in Sky Domain City. However, I'm not sure of its exact location. I heard that non-disciples of the Thousand Shadows sect are not allowed to enter the sect grounds. Gongzi Qiao, I'm afraid you won't be able to see your friend even if you go there. Hua Xiaojun's words made Qin Feng more and more confused. He originally thought that the Death Door was similar to the martial arts world in the outside world. It was a barren land with few people and many sects spread across the mountains and rivers to cultivate in seclusion. Now that he looked at it, it seemed to be a very large city. The sects that Qin Feng had met in the secular world were only a small portion of the sects here. Sky Domain City. Can you explain the situation here more clearly? Qin Feng frowned. Hua Xiaojun looked at Qin Feng strangely. She felt that this person was somewhat different. It was as if he wasn't from this world. Perhaps it was because Qin Feng had saved Hua Xiaojun's life, but she didn't ask about Qin Feng. She answered seriously like a servant, Gongzi Qiao, this is China. There are a total of 8 major cities, and each city has many small towns and villages. The local citizens are protected by the city lords. The Thousand Shadows sect is in Sky Domain City. It is one of the major sects in Sky Domain City and is the defensive force of Sky Domain City. The River Jade village we are in now belongs to Distant Ice City. It is guarded by Spirit Beast sect, White Warehouse sect, Red Sun sect, and other martial artist sects. Usually, the 8 major cities live in harmony and prosper. However, there are times when 2 cities go to war. Not long ago, Meteor City and Distant Ice City went to war. These days, the flames of war have been raging everywhere. It is precisely because of this chaos that those 3 bandits dared to come out and cause trouble. Once again, I thank Gongzi Qiao for saving my life. This little girl is willing to be your servant to repay Gongzi Qiao. As Hua Xiaojun spoke, she began to thank Qin Feng again. She was almost raped by those 3 bandits, and now, she felt as if she had been reborn after a calamity. Qin Feng had a general understanding of this place. His heart was filled with astonishment. This desolate land had far exceeded his expectations. It was called China, and it had 8 major cities. From the looks of it, this place was extremely vast. Moreover, such a vast land was hidden by a formation. How powerful must the person who set up this formation be? Hua Xiaojun answered whatever Qin Feng asked her. She stood obediently by Qin Feng's side. Chapter 1342. Qin Feng had entered the Divine Continent from the outside, so he couldn't tell Hua Xiaojun. Although he felt that this woman looked pretty good, they had only known each other for a short while. It would be bad if he revealed his true identity and attracted a lot of trouble. My injuries are fine. Let's leave this place first. Qin Feng thought that Ling Yun might also enter through the formation entrance. He didn't know if she would also fall into this area after entering. Now that Qin Feng was seriously injured, if he really encountered that woman, he would definitely be in danger. However, after taking a few steps, Qin Feng was already sweating from the pain. The airwaves in the formation were extremely violent. It was a miracle that he was still alive. Ah! Young Master Qiao, your wound is bleeding. Hua Xiaojun jumped in fright and hurriedly supported Qin Feng. At this moment, Qin Feng's body was covered in wounds. His clothes were in tatters, and the wound on his thigh had split open and was bleeding profusely. Hua Xiaojun's expression was anxious. She wanted to squat down and help Qin Feng bandage his wound, but she could see some embarrassing scenes from the corner of her eyes. However, when she saw that Qin Feng's legs were dyed red with blood, Hua Xiaojun couldn't care less. Young Master Qiao, quickly sit down. Let me help you bandage your wound. Hua Xiaojun had already squatted down. Qin Feng felt a little awkward, but he quickly calmed down. He looked at the small bamboo forest nearby and said, "It's not convenient here. Let's go deeper into the bamboo forest." As Qin Feng spoke, he forced himself to walk into the bamboo forest. He was afraid that Ling Yun would find him. Hiding in the bamboo forest was always safer. Hua Xiaojun stood there in a daze. She looked at Qin Feng's receding figure hesitantly. She had just been forced into the bamboo forest by 3 mountain bandits and was almost raped. Now that she saw the bamboo forest, she was filled with fear. Yet, Qin Feng insisted on recuperating in the bamboo forest. This made Hua Xiaojun somewhat worried. Could it be that young Master Qiao was also a bad person with a human face but a beast's heart? Qin Feng walked to the entrance of the bamboo forest and realized that Hua Xiaojun didn't follow him. He turned around and saw her panicked expression. He smiled bitterly in his heart. "Xiaojun, go back by yourself." Qin Feng sighed. He didn't want to make things difficult for this woman. After all, after he recovered from his injuries, he could casually ask people on the streets about the Thousand Shadow sect and Spirit Beast sect. Hua Xiaojun was taken aback. A trace of self-blame flashed across her beautiful eyes. She suddenly ran towards Qin Feng and said, "Young Master Qiao, my daughter is overthinking things. Let me help you in. Be careful, young master." Qin Feng didn't think that this girl would come back, so he didn't try to persuade her to leave. The two of them walked to the deepest part of the bamboo forest. There was no one here, only the two of them. "Young Master Qiao, how did you suffer such heavy injuries?" Qin Feng leaned against a piece of bamboo and sat down. Because he had lost too much blood, his face was as pale as paper. Hua Xiaojun furrowed her brows and took out a handkerchief to help him stop the bleeding. "Little Zhen, I'm fine. You should go rest." Qin Feng realized that many of the wounds on his body were located in relatively sensitive areas. He didn't want to make things difficult for this girl, so he took out a few bottles of healing pills from the Emerald Spirit Ring and poured all of them into his mouth as if he was eating bubble gum. Hua Xiaojun didn't stop. When she carefully tore off the blood-stained clothes on Qin Feng's upper body, she was so frightened that she immediately covered her mouth. "Young Master Qiao, why you must be in a lot of pain, right?" Looking at Qin Feng's blood-covered body, Hua Xiaojun's tears almost fell. Qin Feng gritted his teeth and pretended that he was fine. He smiled and said, "It's nothing. I'll be fine in a few days." Qin Feng had spiritual pills to heal his wounds. In a few days, his external injuries would definitely be healed. As for his internal injuries, it was hard to say. However, Hua Xiaojun didn't know that. Her handkerchief had been rubbed until it was the color of blood. She tore off the corner of her patched clothes and continued to bandage Qin Feng's wounds. There were more and more bloody cloths on the ground. Qin Feng didn't stop Hua Xiaojun. Hua Xiaojun's expression became more and more serious. She was really scared to death by Qin Feng's injuries. At first, she was a little shy and nervous when she wiped Qin Feng's body. Now, she was completely focused. All she could see were the terrifying bloody wounds. After bandaging the wounds on his upper body, Hua Xiaojun tore off a piece of cloth from her clothes. Without thinking, she lowered her head and bandaged Qin Feng's thigh. At this moment, Qin Feng was basically naked. Hua Xiaojun suddenly cried out in surprise. She raised her head and looked at Qin Feng. Her little face was so red that it was about to drip water, young Master Chiao, why you? Hua Xiaojun didn't have the nerve to finish her sentence. Qin Feng was meditating and circulating his qi. However, after working for a long time, he still couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. Only then did he suddenly wake up. He lowered his head and glanced at himself. He was so embarrassed that his old face turned red. Ahem. Xiaojun, why you go sit over there and rest for a while. I'll bandage the rest of the wounds myself. This time, Hua Xiaojun was really embarrassed. She tore off a few pieces of cloth from her clothes and placed them on the ground. Without saying a word, she turned and ran to the side. Qin Feng's body was covered in bloody wounds, but most of them were superficial wounds. He casually bandaged them. The spirit pills he ate earlier had already taken effect. At this moment, his body had recovered to the state of an ordinary person. At least, it wasn't difficult for him to move. Qin Feng went outside the bamboo forest and put on the clothes of the 2 bandits he killed. These clothes had been blasted to pieces by the lightning crossbow, but at least they were better than Qin Feng's naked body. Young Master Chiao, why are you feeling better? Just as Qin Feng finished putting on his clothes, Hua Xiaojun walked out of the bamboo forest. Much better. Thank you, beautiful Xiaojun, for bandaging me. Hua Xiaojun was stunned for a moment. Her little face blushed again. Here, very few people would directly say the word beautiful to a girl. It felt like a confession. Qin Feng had only known her for less than 2 hours, and he was already saying such frivolous words. Hua Xiaojun became a little nervous. Young Master Chiao, where do you plan to go now? Hua Xiaojun asked with her head lowered. Is Sky Domain City far from here? Previously, Hua Xiaojun said that the Thousand Shadow sect was in Sky Domain City. Qin Feng planned to go there first to find out the situation. Hua Xiaojun's expression changed. She thought that Qin Feng would give up on the idea of going to the Thousand Shadow sect. She didn't expect him to be so determined. Young Master Chiao, it's useless even if you go to Sky Domain City. Normal people don't know where the Sacred Gate is. Only disciples of the Sacred Gate can find it. Qin Feng learned a lot about the situation here from Hua Xiaojun. The Sacred Gate was the general name for the cultivation sects in the Divine Continent. So you're saying that normal people have no way to find the Sacred Gate? Qin Feng was a little worried. If he couldn't find the Thousand Shadow sect, how could he save his mother and Ling Xian? However, he heard Hua Xiaojun say, there is a way, but the most effective way is to participate in the sect selection that happens every 3 years. At that time, the Sacred Gates will come to Fire Beacon City to pick new disciples. If they are chosen, they will be brought into the sect. Qin Feng immediately asked, when will the disciple selection be held this time? It should be soon. I'm just a poor little girl and usually don't pay attention to these things. If young Master Chiao wants to know the specific time, I can help you ask. Qin Feng asked Hua Xiaojun many more questions and had a general understanding of the situation here. He originally thought that the Absolute Gate was neither big nor small and was made up of many hidden sections. Now, he realized that it was completely different from what he had imagined. This messed up Qin Feng's plan. He had planned to directly kill his way to the Thousand Shadow sect and Spirit Beast sect, then leave after finishing his task. Now, it seemed like he had to slowly plan. Qin Feng tried to circulate the true qi in his body, but there was still no reaction. He decided to find a place to rest and recuperate. Otherwise, with his current strength, so what if he found the Thousand Shadow sect and Spirit Beast sect? He was afraid that they could kill him with a single slap. Young Master Chiao, where are we going now? A trace of disappointment flashed through Hua Xiaojun's eyes. It was unknown what she was thinking. Qin Feng didn't know anything about this place. He asked, is your home far from here? Hua Xiaozhen's eyes suddenly welled up with tears. She gritted her teeth and said, "Young Master Qiao, I can't go home." Qin Feng was stunned. "Why?" "My home is in West Town's Hua village. It's over 200 li from here. The 3 bad guys in front are mountain bandits from West Town's Hua village. Their big brother took a fancy to my beauty and wanted me to submit. I was forced to escape from West Town's Hua village. If I go back now, W will." Hua Xiaozhen didn't continue, but Qin Feng already understood. He felt some sympathy for this woman and glanced at the holes in her cloth shoes. Qin Feng knew that this woman must have walked all the way from the Hua family village to this river jade village. It was a full 200 li, and who knew how many days and nights it would take to walk. If that's the case, then all the more reason for you to go home. Qin Feng seemed to have thought of something, and his expression suddenly became cold. Hua Xiaozhen didn't understand. "Young Master Qiao, why do you say that? If I go back, then the bad guys. Those 2 mountain bandits were killed by me, and the other mountain bandit escaped. The person who escaped will definitely go back and report to their big brother. Those mountain bandits are inhumane. In a moment of anger, they might vent their anger on your family. You still have family in Hua village, right?" Qin Feng's analysis was clear and logical. Hua Xiaozhen's expression changed greatly, and she cried out in shock. "Ah! It's over, it's over. If young Master Qiao didn't remind this servant wouldn't have thought so much." Hua Xiaozhen cried anxiously, "Woo woo. Young Master Qiao, thank you for saving my life. I'm afraid this servant won't be able to be your servant in this life. I hope to repay your kindness in my next life. I'm going back to Hua village. Young Master Qiao, please take care of yourself." Hua Xiaozhen wiped her tears as she hurriedly ran forward. Qin Feng pulled her back, and Hua Xiaozhen cried out in shock, "Young Master Qiao, you want to go back alone? Isn't that courting death?" Qin Feng interrupted Hua Xiaozhen. Hua Xiaozhen sobbed and said, "But if I don't go back, my grandmother and relatives at home will suffer." Qin Feng had a good impression of Hua Xiaozhen, and this woman was the first person he met after coming to Extinction Sect. He more or less didn't want to see her fall into the wolf's mouth. "Let's go, take me to your village with you. In the end, I killed those 2 mountain bandits, so I'm also responsible for this." Qin Feng patted Hua Xiaozhen's shoulder and comforted her. Chapter 1343. Qin Feng decided to return to Hua village with Hua Xiaozhen. He could recuperate there for a while. As for the Horsehead gang, Qin Feng did not care about them at all. Although he could not circulate his true qi, there were many star technology products in the system. If he provoked them, he could use a cannon to flatten the Horsehead gang's mountain. Top update fastest. However, when Qin Feng expressed this idea, Hua Xiaozhen repeatedly shook her head. In her eyes, the Horseshoe Gang was the most powerful faction in the Hua village of West Town. Even the constables of the Yamen could not eliminate them. Qin Feng was so heavily injured. Wasn't going to his death. "Young Master Xiaozhen appreciates your good intentions, but I can't take you back. That would harm young Master. Hurry and return to your city. Right now, there's a war in distant Ice City, and it's in chaos. It's not good to stay for long," Hua Xiaozhen said as tears fell. When she thought about how she would be violated by the bandits after returning, she wanted to bang her head against a wall and die. However, if she really committed suicide, her grandmother and relatives would suffer. "Didn't you want to be my servant? Is there a servant who doesn't listen to her master's orders?" Qin Feng said carelessly. Hua Xiaozhen suddenly became nervous and hurriedly waved her hands. No, young Master Qiao, you, Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that she could not speak clearly. She was born in China and had been instilled with the ideology of the 3 obediences and 5 virtues since she was young. She was very clear about the relationship between master and servant. No servant dared to disobey their master, but the situation was different now. Young Master Chiao, don't be angry. It's my fault. I deserve to be hit. The crisp sound of a slap rang out. Qin Feng froze abruptly. Hua Xiaojun slapped her own face without hesitation. 5 bright red finger marks instantly appeared on her originally white and tender little face. It could be seen that she used all her strength to slap her own face. Moreover, she had no intention of stopping. What are you doing? Qin Feng hurriedly grabbed her lily-white hand. His emotions were a bit complicated. Hua Xiaojun cried. Young Master Chiao, don't be angry. It's Xiaojun's fault. Xiaojun couldn't do anything. I can only repay young master for saving my life in my next life. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. He was completely speechless. He realized that the women of the divine great land had the same mindset as the conservative women of ancient times. This was the behavior of men being superior to women. I'm not angry at you. Don't talk so much. Take me to Hua village. I have nowhere to go now. You can't let your master wander the streets, right? Hua Xiaojun's pitiful appearance reminded Qin Feng of Lin Bei Bei. He couldn't help but sigh. He didn't know when he could finish his mission and leave the divine great land. He had just arrived, but he already missed the women in Hero City. In the end, Hua Xiaojun had no choice but to listen to Qin Feng and take him back. According to Hua Xiaojun, this place was still over 200 kilometers away from the Hua family village. At this time, the sky was gradually darkening, and Qin Feng was heavily injured, so he decided to find a restaurant to stay in. In fact, Qin Feng could use the system spacetime gate to travel to the Hua village, or release the flaming golden eagle to fly them over. However, Qin Feng rejected these ideas. He had just arrived at the extinction realm, so it was better to keep a low profile. There were many sects and experts here, and Qin Feng suspected that there was someone with the system. Was it Ling Zhoutian, someone who came out of the extinction realm? If he used the system's function and was discovered by someone with the system, with his current condition, he would definitely die. You 2 stinking beggars, get lost. The 2 of them had just arrived at the entrance of the largest restaurant in the Jade River village, 10,000 Flower Tower, when they were stopped outside by the waiter. Qin Feng specifically came here because he saw that this restaurant's exterior was slightly high class. Hua Xiaojun was already trembling in fear. She secretly pulled Qin Feng to the side. Young Master Chiao, let's hurry and leave. It's very expensive to stay here for a night. Hua Xiaojun was a poor little girl. The copper coin she earned as a maid in a rich family for a year was not enough to stay in 10,000 Flower Tower for a night. Qin Feng was used to staying in the presidential suite in the Huaxia secular world, so the 10,000 Flower Tower in front of him was very low class to him. That's right, how much does it cost to stay in this restaurant for a night? Qin Feng quickly realized a serious problem. The currency of the divine great land was very likely different from the outside world. Young Master Chiao, it costs 1,000 copper coins. It's so expensive, let's not stay here. Hua Xiaojun trembled in fear just by saying the price. She had never seen 1,000 copper coins in her life. The corner of Qin Feng's mouth twitched. Sure enough, it was different from the currency of the outside world. Was this the currency of the ancient times? Will gold bars do? Qin Feng suddenly asked. Hua Xiaojun was so shocked that she exclaimed, Young Master Chiao, why you have gold bars? When Qin Feng was collecting the materials for the Starry Sky Flying Sword, he had collected many gold bars. Now, there was still a lot left in the emerald spirit ring. He asked again and finally understood the currency conversion here. Here, gold coins were the most valuable. 1 gold coin could be exchanged for 1,000 silver coins, and 1 silver coin could be exchanged for 1,000 copper coins. However, the 10,000 flower tower only required 1 silver coin to stay in, so Qin Feng didn't mind. Hey! Are you deaf? Hurry up and scram. If you want food, go to the opposite street. Don't affect our 10,000 flower tower's business. When the waiter saw the two of them standing at the entrance and not leaving, his tone became even more tyrannical. However, Hua Xiaojun didn't believe that Qin Feng had gold bars. She saw that Qin Feng didn't seem to be the son of a rich family. Big brother, I'm sorry. I'll leave now. Hua Xiaojun secretly pulled Qin Feng away, but she discovered that Qin Feng had pulled her into the 10,000 flower tower. The waiter was stunned for a moment, and immediately roared in anger, "Stinking brat, I gave you face, but you don't want it. Guys, come out, someone is causing trouble." Just as the waiter finished speaking, 5 black figures suddenly jumped out of the shop. The 5 of them were all tall and strong men. Since they were 5 experts at the first stage of true qi, Qin Feng felt depressed. Qin Feng felt a wave of depression in his heart. He had only been in the divine Great Land for less than a day, yet he had already encountered 8 powerful beings of the true qi realm. Experts of this level were not worth mentioning here, and had even been reduced to working as bandits and restaurant thugs. Stinking brat, you dare to cause trouble in the 10,000 flower tower? I think you're tired of living. A stinking beggar who can't even afford clothes, why are you talking nonsense with him? Just cripple him and throw him out, eh? That girl looks pretty. Brother He Sui, do you want to catch her to accompany the customers in the shop? These brawny men swept a glance at Qin Feng and didn't pay any more attention to him. Their gazes all fell on Hua Xiaojun. This woman had a delicate temperament and a tall figure. She didn't even dress up much, but she was already a very eye-catching delicate beauty. In addition, when she was bandaging Qin Feng's wound, the cloth dress on her body was torn to pieces. She looked a bit more charming and flirtatious. Ah! Young Master Chiao, let's hurry up and leave. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she hid behind Qin Feng and tightly grabbed onto the corner of his clothes. Qin Feng circulated the true qi in his body, but he still didn't succeed. He pulled Hua Xiaojun and swaggered to a table. He casually took out a gold bar and said, "Open your dog eyes wide and look carefully. I'm here to stay and spend money. Don't you want to do business anymore?" The gold bar flickered under the candlelight in the shop, and it almost blinded the waiter and the others. Hua Xiaojun immediately covered her small mouth, and her beautiful eyes were filled with shock. So young Master Chiao really did have a gold bar. The waiter was stunned for a while before coming back to his senses. It was as if he had changed into a different person. He put on a fawning smile and said, "Hee hee. This is young Master Chiao, right? I hope young Master Chiao won't blame me for my negligence earlier. I'll get a good guest room for young Master Chiao right now and prepare some food and wine to bring to your room. Get us 2 sets of clean clothes. Don't let anyone disturb our rest." After Qin Feng said this, he pulled the absent-minded Hua Xiaojun upstairs. The waiter and the 5 strong men were still stunned on the spot. They stared at each other like idiots. Holy shit! It's really a gold bar. I've never seen a gold bar in my life. One of the strong men suddenly woke up with a start. His eyeballs were almost glued to the gold bar on the table. The other 4 strong men also surrounded them. They were so excited that their necks were red. The waiter quickly grabbed the gold bar and bit it. He exclaimed, "It's really a gold bar. The gold content of this gold bar is too pure. It's definitely not gold from our distant ice city. Those two fellows are probably from out of town. As the waiter spoke, a cold glint flashed across his eyes. The other 5 strong men seemed to have seen through his intentions. One of them lowered his voice and said, "Big brother Hisui, what do you mean?" Hisui looked around. There were no customers in the hotel tonight, so they were staying in Qin Feng's room. Moreover, the boss had gone out to purchase goods. Hisui couldn't help but think of something. Zhang Hu, this is a great opportunity to make a fortune. If we do it well, it will be equivalent to our lifetime earnings. Do you guys want to do it? Hisui suddenly looked at the strong man leading the group. Although Zhang Hu had some guesses, he wasn't sure. He asked, "Big brother He, can you tell us the details of the plan first?" Hisui was really blinded by wealth. He lowered his voice and said, "The man and the woman are both from out of town. The man is injured and doesn't look like a warrior. He took out a gold bar, so I believe he has a lot of jewelry on him. When the night is quiet, we will rob them. We will kill the man and the woman is pretty. We can enjoy ourselves together and split the money evenly. Then, we will go our separate ways and enjoy the rest of our lives." After Hisui finished his plan, he looked at Zhang Hu and the others eagerly. The 5 of them were shocked. They didn't expect Hisui to really want to rob them. However, when they looked at the gold bar in Hisui's hand, their eyes were filled with greed. Zhang Hu took the lead and said, "Okay, I'll join you, Big brother He. Big brother Hu, count me in. I've seen that guy before. He doesn't have any spiritual qi. He's just an ordinary person." Under the temptation of money and beautiful women, the 5 strong men didn't hesitate and joined Hisui's group. Hisui was overjoyed. He believed that with the help of Zhang Hu and the others, the man and the woman would be food on a plate. Chapter 1344. Remember in 1 second, pen. Writing Learning Wonderful, pop-up window free reading. Qin Feng didn't know what Hisui and the others were thinking. At this time, he had already entered a large room on the west side of the 2nd floor. The furnishings in the room were very simple. There was a large wooden bed and a few wooden tables and chairs. There was a sandy curtain by the wall and a large wooden tub inside. Qin Feng guessed that this was probably the place to bathe. The longer Qin Feng stayed in China, the more he felt that this place was like ancient times. There weren't even electric lights, and the room was only lit by candles. "Young Master Qiao, would you like to bathe and change first?" Hua Xiaojun finally regained her senses. Her small face suddenly blushed. This was the first time she had been a manservant and stayed in the same room as a man. Qin Feng's body was covered in dried blood, so a bath was necessary. Hua Xiaojun went to fill the tub. Just as she finished, there was a knock on the door. "Hee. Young Master Qiao, these are new clothes for the 2 of you, as well as some wine and food. I hope the 2 of you have a good night. I won't disturb your rest anymore." Hisui carried a plate of beef and wine into the room. He even prepared 2 sets of new clothes. After putting the things down, he smiled at Qin Feng and left the room. Hua Xiaojun opened the clothes and exclaimed, "Wow! Young Master Qiao, that person brought silk clothes. These 2 clothes cost a few silver coins." Hua Xiaojun was used to living a poor life since she was young. She had always worn coarse clothes. She had worn these clothes for 3 years. She had been sewing and patching them up, not willing to throw them away. Now, looking at the beautiful long dress that only a lady from a noble family could wear, her eyes were filled with twinkling stars. Qin Feng didn't care about this and had already taken off his clothes. Hua Xiaojun was shocked again. "Aw. Qiao, young Master Qiao, you..." Qin Feng realized that he had been seen naked, but he didn't care too much. He walked to the basin and sat down. Xiaozhen, eat first. Don't worry about me. Hua Xiaozhen's face was full of red. She lowered her head and walked to the curtain. Young Master Qiao, I'll wait for you to eat together. Don't move, I'll help you bathe. Before Qin Feng could speak, he felt a pair of hands fall on his shoulders. However, Hua Xiaozhen was used to rough work, so her fingers had calluses. Young Master Qiao, this servant's hands are a little rough, please forgive me. This was Qin Feng's first time seeing a woman as obedient and considerate as Hua Xiaozhen. Even ghost cultivator Shaoli was slightly inferior to her. Qin Feng originally wanted to wash himself, but when he thought of the many wounds on his back that he couldn't touch, he let Hua Xiaozhen do as she pleased. She had to use 3 basins of clean water to wash away the blood on Qin Feng's body. When she saw the 3 basins of bloody water, Hua Xiaozhen felt slightly afraid, and her body started to tremble uncontrollably. Xiaozhen, you've been busy for a long time. Come and eat. Qin Feng had already changed into clean clothes. He hadn't eaten all day, so he was a bit hungry. Hua Xiaozhen stood obediently by Qin Feng's side, but she didn't sit down. When she saw Qin Feng pick up the chopsticks, she carefully picked up the pair beside her. Little Zhen, why don't you sit down? How tiring is it to stand and eat? Qin Feng didn't care too much. He ate the beef and drank the white wine. He felt like a swordsman from ancient times. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly shook her head and said, there's a difference between master and servant. Young Master Qiao can sit, little Zhen will eat standing. Qin Feng was almost speechless. This Hua Xiaozhen's 3 obediences and 4 virtues were deeply ingrained. When he saw that Hua Xiaozhen was so tired that her face was a bit pale, he couldn't bear it and pulled her to sit on a chair beside him. Unexpectedly, Hua Xiaozhen jumped up in fright as if she had done something terribly wrong. Wah! Young Master Qiao, please spare this servant. How can I sit with young master? I think I won't eat. Qin Feng slapped his forehead. He could only let her be. After much persuasion, he persuaded Hua Xiaozhen to eat again. This woman played the role of a servant to the fullest. Qin Feng found that Hua Xiaozhen only dared to carefully put a few dishes into her mouth from a plate that he had used as chopsticks. As for the meat dish with beef and chicken soup, Hua Xiaozhen refused to eat no matter what. After eating, Qin Feng went to the large bed to lie down and began to heal his wounds. Hua Xiaozhen obediently cleaned up the dishes, then went to fill the water for a bath. Master, that daughter's red was drugged. Little Pig's voice suddenly sounded in his mind. Qin Feng was stunned for a moment. Why didn't I feel anything? Little Pig said, because Master drank the all-purpose antidote before, there are still some residual effects in Master's body. The all-purpose antidote directly removed the drug. Qin Feng understood, but his thoughts were already on the drugged daughter's red. This wine was delivered by the waiter, so naturally, he was the one who drugged it. Qin Feng quickly guessed the reason. It was most likely that the gold bar caused trouble, or those people took a fancy to Hua Xiaozhen's beauty. Qin Feng sneered inwardly. No matter what the reason was, they dared to target him. Qin Feng must teach those people a lesson. After cultivating on the bed for a while, Qin Feng still couldn't circulate his true qi. At this time, Hua Xiaozhen finished her bath and walked to the side of the bed in her embroidered dress. Qin Feng's eyes instantly lit up. Young Master Qiao, Hua Xiaozhen's heart was in a whirl under Qin Feng's piercing gaze. Her little face was flushed, and she lowered her head like a docile little bunny. This woman was wearing coarse cotton clothes, and there was pot dust and mud on her face. Her hair was unkempt, but she was tall and pretty. Now that she was clean, she looked like a goddess descending to the earth. Her beauty was comparable to that of Lin Bei Bei and the other girls. Ding! The hedonist sovereign system has issued a quest: change Hua Xiaozhen's ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues. Quest time limit, 1 year. If the quest is successfully completed, the system will reward you 100,000 hedonist points and a pair of pink aurora wings. If the quest is failed, 200,000 hedonist points will be deducted, and the cosmic flying sword will be taken back. The system's notification suddenly sounded, and Qin Feng was slightly stunned. This quest seemed simple, but it was actually very difficult to complete. Hua Xiaozhen looked to be in her early 20s. Her ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues had been instilled in her for 20 years, and it was already deeply rooted. It was impossible to change it overnight. Young Master Qiao, Hua Xiaozhen couldn't help but remind Qin Feng when she saw that Qin Feng didn't speak for a long time. Oh! Now that you're done, go to bed and sleep. Qin Feng quickly gathered his thoughts, moved to the side, and gestured for Hua Xiaozhen to come up. However, she stood nervously by the bed and didn't move. She said carefully, "Young Master Qiao, you're the master. How can a servant sleep on the same bed as you? I'll sleep on the floor." Qin Feng looked under the bed. The floor was made of mud and stone, and it looked cold. There were no extra bed sheets in the room, so how was Hua Xiaozhen going to sleep? Just as he was thinking, he saw Hua Xiaozhen lying on the mud and stone floor. She used a wooden box as a pillow under her head. "Xiaozhen, you'll catch a cold if you sleep like this. Come up. Are you afraid that I'll do something to you?" Qin Feng was speechless. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly stood up and looked at Qin Feng nervously. "Young Master Qiao, I don't want that. Why, you're my master. Even if you need me to serve you, I'll..." Hua Xiaozhen didn't continue. Her little face was so red that water was about to drip out. Qin Feng thought that if this kind of woman was released to the outside world, how many men would fight over her until their heads bled? "Then get on the bed." Qin Feng didn't explain further. Hua Xiaozhen thought Qin Feng was going to do that kind of thing. She was so nervous that she trembled. After hesitating for a moment, she slowly climbed onto the bed and untied the ribbon around her waist. "Go to sleep first. I'll call you when I want to." Qin Feng stopped Hua Xiaozhen. Hua Xiaozhen was stunned for a moment, then shyly burrowed into the covers. "Young Master Qiao, call me when you want to. When you're done, I'll go sleep on the floor." After Hua Xiaozhen finished speaking, she lay down with her back facing Qin Feng. She was extremely shy and her body was tightly pressed against the side of the bed. She felt like she was going to fall at any moment. Qin Feng shook his head. He knew that he wouldn't be able to change this woman's mind for a while, so he calmed down and began to cultivate. Qin Feng ate all sorts of miraculous medicines, but in the end, he couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. He busied himself until the latter half of the night. A few black shadows flashed outside the room, causing him to be on guard. "Big brother is that medicine okay?" In the dead of night, the sound of whispers came from outside the room. Qin Feng looked at Hua Xiaozhen. She was probably tired from the day and had already fallen asleep. "That's a knockout drug given to me by a young hero from a sect. It's definitely not a problem to knock out that silly boy." He Sui's voice rose a few octaves. The 5 strong men were no longer afraid. They were about to pry open the door and rob the room when the door suddenly opened, giving everyone a fright. "Ah! Why are you awake?" Zhang Hu cried out strangely. He Sui was so scared that he fell on his butt. It was quite scary in the middle of the night. Qin Feng pretended to be confused and said, "What are you guys doing in the middle of the night instead of sleeping?" "I was in a hurry to relieve myself." Zhang Hu and the others patted their chests and panted. He Sui had already climbed up from the floor. He glared at Qin Feng and said, "Didn't you drink?" "I'm injured, so I can't drink." "Is there a problem?" He Sui was depressed. He had forgotten that the boy was injured. Originally, the 6 of them had planned to knock Qin Feng out and rob him of his money. Then, they would play with Hua Xiaojun and kill both of them. They didn't expect their plan to go wrong at the beginning. However, Qin Feng was covered in wounds and looked weak. He Sui didn't care that his plan had gone wrong. He stared at him coldly and shouted, "Where's the girl?" Qin Feng had already expected that these people had bad intentions. He pretended to be confused and said, "She's sleeping on the bed." "What are you guys doing?" "What?" "I came here in the middle of the night to fuck your woman and rob you of your money." He Sui lost his patience and directly revealed his fox's tail. Qin Feng pretended to be surprised and said, "Oh. Your restaurant is a scam. I'm going to the Yamen to sue you." Chapter 1345. In 1 second, he had memorized it. There was no pop-up window to read it for free. Even though Qin Feng couldn't use his true qi, he didn't care about the 6 people in front of him. But he looked at Hua Xiaojun, who was still sleeping soundly, and didn't want to fight here. He hurriedly said, "Guys, what do you want? Let me go." He Sui and the others sneered when they saw that Qin Feng was scared to death before they even did anything. Zhang Hu shouted in a low voice, "Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and take out all the gold bars, or I'll kill you." "So, you want to rob me?" Don't kill me. I can give you money," Qin Feng said hurriedly. He Sui laughed strangely. "You guessed wrong. I'm not only here to rob you, but also to rape you. Your woman is really beautiful. We'll help you satisfy her later." After he said that, there was some movement next to the bed. They were stunned for a moment and found that Hua Xiaojun had turned over and fallen asleep. But in the dark, no one noticed that Hua Xiaojun's half-opened eyes were full of anxiety. She didn't sleep at all. Hua Xiaojun, who had been instilled with the values of a woman since she was a child, didn't dare to sleep in her master's bed. Even if she was really tired, she just pretended to sleep to avoid the embarrassment of sharing a bed with Qin Feng. Realizing that this was a scam, Hua Xiaojun was burning with anxiety. She didn't dare to get up, not because she was afraid of death, but because she wanted to find an opportunity to save her master's life. No one knew that, not even Qin Feng. You want to rape me? I'll give you the money, and you let me and Xiaojun go. How about that?" Qin Feng looked nervous. He Sui's face turned cold and he shouted, "Brat, you can't even protect yourself now, and you still want to bargain with me? What's the matter, do you really love that chick? Then I'll kill you and let her go. How about that? Don't, just let me go. I don't care about that woman anymore." Qin Feng hurriedly refused. He Sui and the others burst into laughter. They loved to see the ugly side of human nature. Qin Feng lost his patience and continued, "Gentlemen, I don't have any more gold bars with me. They're too precious. I'll take you to get them. Once you get them, you must let me go." Compared to Hua Xiaojun's beauty, the gold bar was obviously more attractive. Moreover, as long as he had the gold bar, it would be the same whenever he played with women. Their eyes lit up. He Sui said, "Zhang Hu, watch that woman. I'll go with this kid to get the gold bars." Zhang Hu was not willing to stay. What if He Sui took the opportunity to run away with the gold bar? Even if he didn't run, who would know if he hit a few gold bars? "Big brother you don't know any martial arts. It'll be troublesome if this brat resists. It's better for us to accompany you. That woman is asleep and can't run away, Seeing that his thoughts were seen through, Sui did not insist. He smiled and said, "Brother, you're so considerate. All right, let's go together." They followed Qin Feng out of the room. After walking for a while, Hua Xiaozhen abruptly sat up on the bed. However, she wasn't in a hurry to report the case or think of a way to escape. Instead, she sat dazedly on the bed with a dazed expression. Hua Xiaozhen overheard their conversation. When she heard that Qin Feng only wanted to live, but left her here, her heart felt as if it had been pierced by needles. In fact, this was not Hua Xiaozhen's first day as a servant. She had always been a servant to the daughters of rich families. She was used to being ordered around by those arrogant daughters and even humiliated. She knew that as a servant, she had no right to be cared for by her master. However, Hua Xiaozhen felt that Qin Feng was different. He was the best master she had ever met. However, after what happened just now, Hua Xiaozhen realized that she was thinking too much. "Brat, where did you hide the gold bars? Are you kidding us? If you dare to play tricks, I'll cut you down with my saber." Qin Feng had already left Wanhua Tower with the 6 of them. After a few turns, they came to an empty alley. Sui and the others suddenly became vigilant and said some harsh words to scare Qin Feng. "Don't worry, it's under the stone in front." Qin Feng walked to the deepest part of the alley and looked around to make sure there was no one else. He planned to kill Sui and the others here. Hearing that the gold bars were here, the 6 of them immediately became alert. Zhang Hu ran to move the stone but found nothing. "Damn it, this brat is cheating us. There's no gold bars here," Zhang Hu roared. The other 4 strong men immediately surrounded Qin Feng. Each of them had a large saber hidden on them. They waved their long sabers and glared at Qin Feng. "Brat, you're really cheating us. I think you're tired of living. I'll give you one last chance. Where did you hide the gold bars? If you don't hand them over, your life will be in danger." Everyone was talking at once, but Qin Feng looked indifferent. He waved his hand and like a magic trick, a gold bar appeared in his hand. The gold bars glittered in the night, and the 6 of them were stunned. Sui snatched a dozen gold bars and stared at Qin Feng. "How come you only have these? Do you have any more? Take them all out." Qin Feng sneered and said, "I have a lot of gold bars, but they're not worth anything compared to the real treasures I have." Sui was stunned. He rolled his eyes and said, "You have other treasures? Take them out and let me see." Seeing that they had taken the bait, Qin Feng took out the Star Technology lightning crossbow. It still had one unused bullet, and the black pockmarked man had escaped. Now it was the perfect time to kill this group of people. "What the hell is this? Don't play tricks, brat." Sui was an ordinary person and didn't know anything about spiritual weapons. Zhang Hu and the others had some experience with cultivation, so they were interested in the longbow in Qin Feng's hand. "Brat, is this a spiritual weapon?" Zhang Hu asked. "Big brother, you have a good eye. This is a superior blue-grade spiritual weapon," Qin Feng said. To Zhang Hu and the others, a blue-grade spiritual weapon was amazing. The 5 of them exclaimed in surprise, but Sui was confused. "Zhang Hu, what the hell is that? Is it worth more than gold bars?" Zhang Hu abruptly came to his senses, his voice trembling as he said, "Big brother Sui, this is a treasure that even those people from the Holy Gate are fighting over. I'm afraid that even a chest of gold bars can't exchange for a blue-grade spiritual weapon." Sui froze and looked at the lightning crossbow again. He suddenly snatched it and muttered, "This broken crossbow is worth a chest of gold bars. It doesn't even have a string. Are you kidding me?" Zhang Hu also realized that the crossbow didn't have a string. He glared at Qin Feng and said, "How can this thing attack without a string? Don't try to fool me with a fake. Let me tell you, I'm also a martial warrior. Qin Feng had heard the word warrior from Hua Xiaojun before, so it was probably what the people here called warriors. Qin Feng didn't care about this and said, this kind of spiritual weapon doesn't need a bowstring. It can attack as long as you use your true qi. Zhang Hu immediately became excited. He took the lightning crossbow from He Sui's hand and pulled it with true qi, but it didn't move. Fuck. Are you trying to trick me again? Do you want to die? Zhang Hu was furious. Qin Feng was confused. Why can't you shoot it? It was working before. Don't you know how to use it? I'll show you. Qin Feng took the Thunder Radiance crossbow back. Zhang Hu and the others still hadn't realized the danger. Qin Feng took 2 steps back and said, Heroes, stand back a little. The power of this blue-grade spiritual weapon cannot be underestimated. Don't hurt anyone. Seeing that Qin Feng was still worried, everyone started to retreat. However, Zhang Hu only took 3 steps back when his expression suddenly changed. He roared and swung his blade. Stinking brat, you don't even have true qi in your body. How can you use a spiritual weapon? What the hell is this? Before Zhang Hu finished speaking, there was a loud explosion. The lightning crossbow suddenly emitted a blue light. Qin Feng shot an arrow. It was as if there was a blue electric light. The dazzling light filled the entire alley, causing everyone to scream in fear. Boom! The speed of the lightning was extremely fast. In a moment, the alley in front of Qin Feng turned into ruins. Zhang Hu and the others exploded at the same time. Flesh and blood flew everywhere and the ground became a river of blood. Qin Feng was also sent flying by Zhang Hu's blade. This was a strike from a true Qi Stage 1 martial warrior. If Qin Feng didn't retreat a few steps, he would have been cut to death. The loud explosions continued. Qin Feng hurriedly poured a handful of pills into his mouth and sat on the ground for a while to recover. Fuck, a mere true Qi Stage 1 dares to injure me. This is really a case of a tiger being bullied by a dog. Qin Feng supported himself on the wall and walked back. Hua Xiaojun was still in the hotel. The arrow just now caused a huge commotion. Presumably, it would attract a lot of people. They couldn't stay here anymore. Qin Feng had to take Hua Xiaojun and escape through the night. Xiaojun, wake up. Let's quickly leave. Qin Feng walked back while holding his chest. He was so tired that he was gasping for breath. He found that Hua Xiaojun was already awake. She sat on the bed like a fool. Xiaojun, are you okay? Qin Feng sat on the bed and asked. Hua Xiaojun didn't say anything and didn't look at Qin Feng. There were tears swirling in her eyes. He didn't know what was going on with her. Actually, Hua Xiaojun's emotions were turbulent. The reason she didn't run away was because she was worried about Qin Feng. Although Qin Feng abandoned her, Hua Xiaojun couldn't let go of her master. What she didn't expect was that Qin Feng actually came back. Could it be that he joined the group of bad people and came back to violate her? Xiaojun, don't just stand there. We have to leave this place immediately. Qin Feng also didn't understand what was going on with this woman. He pulled her to get off the bed. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she immediately struggled to resist. In her panic, she touched Qin Feng's wound. It was so painful that he squatted on the ground and sweated profusely. Ah! Young Master Qiao, why is your chest injured again? Hua Xiaojun was shocked and immediately jumped off the bed. Qin Feng's clothes were soaked in blood. It was scary to look at. Chapter 1346. Qin Feng endured the pain and stood up. He ignored his bleeding wounds and said, "Xiaozhen, let's go first. I killed those people, so I'm afraid someone will come." Qin Fan didn't know much about China, but Hua Xiaozhen had told him about the yamen. Qin Fan thought of the constables of the yamen in ancient times. If they found out that someone died here, it would be big trouble. Hua Xiaozhen froze. She suddenly felt that something was wrong and was completely different from what she thought. Why did young Master Qiao kill those people? Didn't he abandon her and run away? Qin Feng didn't have time to explain so much to Hua Xiaozhen. He carried her and ran out. Hurried footsteps came from the distant streets and the light of torches shone over. "Crap, young Master Qiao, hurry and run. I'll stay and take the blame for you." Hua Xiaozhen finally came back to her senses. She understood that she had misunderstood Qin Feng and was incomparably moved. She was only young Master Qiao's female servant that could be ordered around. She couldn't even complain when asked to warm the bed. Who would have thought that young Master Qiao would get injured again to save her? Hua Xiaozhen couldn't help but cry. At this time, the neighing of a horse sounded. Hua Xiaozhen felt her body lighten and the streets around her quickly receded. Qin Feng sped on Flaming Dragon Horse and asked quickly, "Xiaozhen, which way is your house?" Hua Xiaozhen felt incomparably warm and safe in Qin Feng's arms. She wiped her tears and said, "Young Master Qiao, head south and you'll reach West Town's Hua village. You're injured, let me help you bandage it." Qin Feng found the direction and sped along. Flaming Dragon Horse's speed was extremely fast. In just a short while, it had shaken off the group of soldiers. Hua Xiaozhen carefully helped Qin Feng treat his wounds. After bandaging them, she hugged Qin Feng tightly for some reason. There was something in her heart that she couldn't say. After a night of traveling, Qin Feng arrived at West Town's Hua village when the sky in the distance began to brighten. This place was even more remote than River Jade Village. A few villagers who had woken up early were carrying hoes to do farm work. Someone's come to Hua village. It seems like an outsider. When the villagers saw the tall and handsome horse, they all stopped to look. One of the old men exclaimed, "Is that third Grandma Wang's granddaughter?" It really was Xiaozhen. Wasn't she kidnapped by the bandits? Why did you come back? That man is riding a horse and wearing a silk robe. Obviously, he's from a rich family. Is he from the horseman gang? TSK. It's really a pity for Xiaozhen. There are hundreds of bandits in the horseman gang. She, as a woman, has long been defiled to death. After the crowd recognized Hua Xiaozhen, they all gathered around her. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen down from Flaming Dragon Horse and patted the horse's back. Flaming Dragon Horse neighed loudly and galloped in the direction they came from. As it galloped, it suddenly disappeared into the smoke. Why did that horse run away? Little Zhen, who did you bring back? Hua Xiaozhen looked at the familiar scenery of her hometown and couldn't help but want to cry again. However, she suddenly felt a pair of wide and warm arms wrap around her. Hua Xiaozhen looked up and saw Qin Feng's determined face. Her heart immediately calmed down. Grandpa Li, Auntie Zhou, Uncle Hua. This is young Master Qiao. I'm now young Master Qiao's female servant. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly introduced. Everyone looked at Qin Feng with envious expressions. They thought Qin Feng was the young master of some rich family. Little Zhen, weren't you captured by the bandits? How did you become young Master Qiao's female servant? Which large family is young Master Qiao from? I don't think I've heard of the Qiao family in this River Jade village. Qin Feng didn't answer everyone's questions in case he gave himself away. Hua Xiaozhen said, I was almost kidnapped by bandits, but I was saved by young Master Qiao halfway. I came back this time to advise everyone to leave Hua village. I'm afraid the horseman gang bandits are here for revenge. Everyone's expression changed. A woman who looked like an auntie said, "Revenge? What revenge? We didn't offend the horseman gang bandits." Hua Xiaojun didn't know how to lie, so she could only tell the truth. When the people of Hua village found out that Qin Feng had killed 2 bandits, they cried out in fear. "What? You killed bandits? Are you trying to kill our Hua village? Go, go, go. Hurry and leave Hua village. Don't come back for the rest of your lives. In the future, there will be no Hua Xiaojun in Hua village. I've long known that you were a source of disaster. Now that you've brought disaster, how unlucky." The crowd, which had been amiable just a moment ago, suddenly turned hostile. Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that she didn't know what to do. It didn't matter if she was scolded, but she didn't want to see young Master Qiao being chased away by everyone. Just as the atmosphere was at a stalemate, another large group of villagers ran over. The first to rush over was a young man in his 20s. When he saw Xiaojun, he smiled evilly. "Yo! Little sister Xiaojun is back. How are you doing in the horseman gang?" Hua Xiaojun saw that the man was clearly afraid. She shrunk into Qin Feng's embrace. Brother Zhou, I didn't go to the horseman gang." The young man was called Zhou Dafei. He cried out in alarm, "What? You didn't go to the horseman gang? Weren't you captured by the bandits? Are you too embarrassed to say that your body was violated? This isn't your fault. We won't look down on you. It's a good thing that you came back. Come, let's go to Big Brother's house for a while." As Zhou Dafei spoke, he came up to pull Hua Xiaojun away. Anyone could see his pettiness. Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that she was about to cry. In the past, she was often harassed by Zhou Dafei in the village. Now that she grew up, she was even more afraid of this person. "Big Brother Zhou, don't touch me. I'm young Master Qiao's female servant now." Hua Xiaojun immediately hid behind Qin Feng. She poked her head out and looked at Zhou Dafei nervously. Only then did Zhou Dafei realize that an outsider had come. He looked at Qin Feng sloppily and spat on the ground. "Yo! Which family's young master came to a remote and desolate place like ours? Hua village never welcomes outsiders. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and leave. Otherwise, I'll teach you a lesson." Zhou Dafei was the tyrant of Hua village. He led a group of youths in Hua village and fooled around all day. Even the uncles and old ladies at the side were slightly afraid of this person. They stood to the side and didn't say anything. Qin Feng had already looked around and discovered that the people in Hua village were all normal villagers. There were no martial artists. He wanted to teach Zhou Dafei a lesson, but an old granny walked over with a cane. "Xiaojun. Is it really Xiaojun who came back?" Hua Xiaojun suddenly ran towards the person. She held the old granny's arm and cried, "Granny, Xiaojun is unfilial. I couldn't always stay by your side and take care of you." The person who came was Hua Xiaojun's grandmother, Wang Shumei. She lovingly patted Xiaojun's head and said, "Xiaojun, don't cry. Granny can take care of herself. On the other hand, you have a hard life. You were kidnapped by bandits." Wang Shumei stopped mid-sentence as tears streamed down her face. Hua Xiaojun hurriedly wiped away her tears and said with a trace of joy on her face, "Granny, I wasn't kidnapped by bandits. I was saved by young Master Qiao. I'm now his female servant. Young Master Qiao is a very good person." Hua Xiaojun had already supported her grandmother to Qin Feng. She shyly said to Qin Feng, "Young Master Qiao, this is my grandmother." Qin Feng politely greeted Wang Shumei. Suddenly, someone in the crowd shouted, "Wang Shumei, your unfilial granddaughter has caused a lot of trouble outside. Hurry and get her out of Hua Village. Also, you leave with her. Don't drag us down." Wang Shumei still didn't know that Qin Feng had killed the bandits. She glared at that person angrily and said, "Old manly, what right do you have to chase away my granddaughter? Xiaozhen escaped with great difficulty, I won't let her go again." Old manly glared and shouted, "Humph! That granddaughter of yours didn't obediently go to the horseman gang. Instead, she messed around with that wild man named Xiao. Now, she even killed the horseman gang's bandits. Is she trying to kill us?" Wang Shumei jumped in fright. She grabbed her granddaughter's arm and asked, "Xiaozhen, is that true? You guys killed the bandits?" Hua Xiaozhen was extremely anxious. She had guessed that this would happen before she came back, so she didn't want to bring Qin Feng along to avoid making things difficult for Qin Feng. "Grandma, Xiaozhen is unfilial. Xiaozhen killed someone. This time, I came back to take Grandma away. Also, everyone, leave this place." After Wang Shumei confirmed the truth, she seemed to have aged another 10 years. The villagers who rushed over later also exploded and all shouted for Hua Xiaozhen to scram. Seeing that the situation was getting out of hand, Qin Feng blocked Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Shumei behind him and suddenly shouted, "All of you, shut up. This time, I came back with Xiaozhen to destroy the horseman gang. How can we let those evildoers go? If anyone says anything bad about Xiaozhen, don't blame me for being impolite." Qin Feng was tall and strong. His voice stunned the older villagers. However, Zhou Dafei wasn't afraid of Qin Feng. Looking at his heavily injured appearance, it looked like he could be knocked down with one punch. "Stinking brat, don't think that you're amazing just because you're the young master of a rich family. This is Hua Village, you can't behave atrociously here." Qin Feng had long since disliked Zhou Dafei, so he suddenly threw a punch. The sound of wind breaking came through the air, and the villagers cried out in fear. Although Qin Feng couldn't circulate his true qi, he was still an external stage 8 expert. Although he couldn't beat a true qi realm martial artist, he was more than enough to deal with an ant like Zhou Dafei. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded, and Zhou Dafei fell directly into the crop field a dozen or so meters away. Everyone was scared silly, and many of the more cowardly villagers immediately ran away. Zhang Dafei was knocked unconscious with one punch. He laid there motionlessly, and people thought he was dead. You really dared to make a move. You. All right, Hua Xiaozhen. Luckily, everyone treats you well normally, but you actually brought an outsider to suppress us. You really have a vicious heart." Faced with the crowd's criticism, Hua Xiaozhen acted as if she didn't hear it. Since she was young, she and her grandma relied on each other for survival, and suffered all the bullying from the other villagers. When she was young, she didn't have any rice at home and went to the neighbor's house to ask for some, but she was scolded harshly. Zhou Dafei's family was even more shameless. They asked Hua Xiaozhen to take off her clothes and hug her before helping her, but Hua Xiaozhen resolutely refused. Chapter 1347. Young Master Qiao, let's go home. Hua Xiaozhen tugged at the corner of Qin Feng's shirt and looked at him with a weak expression. Qin Feng had already left with Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Shumei. Because he had sent Zhou Dafei flying with a punch, none of the villagers dared to stop him. They only grumbled behind him. Qin Feng felt bad when he arrived at Hua Xiaozhen's house. It was a shabby thatched hut. It was dark and damp inside. Although it was called a house, it couldn't shelter the house from the wind and rain. It felt like the house could be blown away by a gust of wind. However, Hua Xiaozhen and her grandmother had depended on each other in this simple and crude thatched hut since they were young. Aside from a table and a simple bed, there was nothing else of value in the house. Young Master Chow, our family is poor. Please forgive us. Wang Xiumei had already regained her composure. She didn't blame Hua Xiaojun for offending the mountain bandits. She didn't mention it again, as if nothing had happened. This old lady in her 60s also had a rigid ideology of 3 obediences and 4 virtues. As an elder, she was subservient to Qin Feng. Qin Feng hurriedly helped Wang Xiumei up and let her sit on the chair. Grandma Wang, don't be so courteous with me. Xiao Zhen and I are good friends. If you don't mind, you can treat me like your grandson. Qin Feng's words scared Wang Xiumei so much that she almost fell off the chair. Hua Xiaojun nervously bent over and said, Young Master Qiao, please don't say that. This servant is of humble status. How would I dare to be friends with you? Seeing that Wang Xiumei and Hua Xiaojun were about to cry, Qin Feng's mouth twitched violently. He didn't say anything. The stubborn way of thinking in this world was frightening. Moreover, it was deeply ingrained in their blood. Qin Feng realized that the quest to change Hua Xiaojun's way of thinking was more difficult than he had imagined. He was a bit worried. Young Master Qiao, please sit. I'll go cook for you. There's nothing good to eat at home. Please forgive me, young Master Qiao. After Wang Xiumei regained her composure, she didn't dare to sit. She used her walking stick to cook. Qin Feng knew he couldn't stop her, so he followed her. Hua Xiaojun didn't leave. She stood by Qin Feng's side as if she was his shadow. Soon, a table of food was served. There were 3 dishes and 1 soup. The 3 dishes were all green vegetables, and the soup was also green vegetable soup. However, Qin Feng knew that this was probably the most extravagant meal Hua Xiaojun's family had ever eaten. Cough cough. Grandma Wang, Xiaojun, sit too. Qin Feng discovered that the 2 of them were standing by the table, and he felt a wave of depression in his heart. Hua Xiaojun smiled and shook her head. Wang Xiumei was startled. Young Master Qiao, you are of noble status. How can we sit together with you? Qin Feng and didn't say anything else. Master Qiao, of Shao of Feng, Wang said. Qin Feng of the Xiaojun. Qin's Feng, Qin, Xiaojun, of Shan, S of Feng, Feng, Feng's Wang Fengxin's to leave. Qin Feng was at his wit's end and didn't say anything else. Wang Xiumei suddenly said, Young Master Qiao, after this meal, please leave with Xiaojun. Qin Feng froze. Why do you have to leave? Young Master Qiao, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not trying to drive you away. It's just that you've offended the bandits of the horseman gang. If they find out that you 2 have returned, there will definitely be a big problem. I can see that young Master Qiao is a kind person, and I can rest assured with Xiaojun by your side as your servant. Hua Xiaojun was already crying her heart out. She hugged her grandmother and looked reluctant to leave. Qin Feng was speechless. In the eyes of these villagers, the bandits of the horseman gang were like demons, but Qin Feng didn't put them in his eyes at all. Grandma Wang, don't worry. I came back with little Zhen this time to eradicate the horseman gang. If they come looking for us, it will save me the time to find them. Qin Feng said it very casually. It was just a group of bandits. If he wasn't injured, he would have rushed over with his golden wheel and golden phoenix. He could have destroyed the entire mountain in minutes. However, Wang Xiumei was so shocked that the chopsticks in her hand fell to the ground. She didn't bother to pick them up and said to Qin Feng in a panic, Young Master Qiao, you probably don't know how powerful the horseman gang is. They have a lot of people. There are at least 100 of them, and all of them are tall and sturdy men. How can you fight them alone? You'd better take Xiaojun away. It could be seen that Wang Xiumei really loved Hua Xiaojun. She knew that if Qin Feng took Xiaojun away, the bandits would definitely vent their anger on her. But even so, Wang Xiumei had no complaints. "Grandma, sob, Xiaojun don't leave you. Grandma, come with us." Hua Xiaojun cried even more sadly. Wang Xiumei lovingly patted her head and said, "Grandma won't leave. This is our home. Even if I die, I'll guard this place." The two women hugged each other and cried bitterly. They looked like they were going to die together. Qin Feng rolled his eyes and couldn't help but say, "Xiaojun, don't be sad. I said I would destroy the horseman gang, so I won't lie." Hua Xiaojun was stunned, but she quickly recovered her sad expression. She didn't believe that Qin Feng could destroy the horseman gang. It was an evil force that even the Hua family village's yamen couldn't destroy. How could Qin Feng do it alone? "Young Master Qiao, why don't you go rest on the bed first? I'll talk to Grandma a bit more, and then we'll leave." Hua Xiaojun made up her mind. She couldn't harm Qin Feng because of her. Qin Feng was completely speechless. He knew that they wouldn't believe him no matter what he said, so he simply went to bed and recuperated. Hua Xiaojun and Wang Xiumei were saying goodbye forever when the Hua family village in West Town exploded. "Did you guys hear? That girl Xiaojun brought back a man, and they killed the people from the horseman gang." There were over 100 families in the Hua family village, and the ones gathered at the village entrance were only a small portion. When this news reached the ears of every family, they were so scared that they trembled. "Crazy, crazy. This Xiaojun simply doesn't want to live. If she wants to die, she better not drag us down with her. No, we have to chase Hua Xiaojun and her family out of the Hua family village right now. Otherwise, everyone will suffer. Do you think we don't want to? The man that Xiaojun, that shameless, stinky woman, brought back is so powerful. He knocked Zhou Dafei out with one punch." The villagers gathered together to discuss this matter, and the originally noisy atmosphere suddenly quieted. Zhou Dafei was a notorious tyrant in the village. He was young and strong, and caused trouble every day. No one in the entire Hua family village was his match. Now that an even more ruthless character came, who dared to cause trouble for Qin Feng. Then what should we do? We can't just wait for death, right? The crowd sighed. No one could think of a countermeasure. At this time, Zhou Dafei was already awake, but he still felt dizzy. It was like yesterday when he was drunk. He was the angriest person in the crowd. Being publicly slapped in the face by Qin Feng was something that had never happened in the Hua family village before. "That bastard, wait for your elder to call more people to kill him." Zhou Dafei's angry roar made the villagers nervous. His father, Zhou Hai, hurriedly pulled him back. "Don't go, that brat clearly practiced martial arts. For poor people like us, going would just be throwing our lives away." Zhou Dafei instantly softened. He also realized that Qin Feng was very likely a martial artist. This way, there was no way for him to take revenge. The atmosphere became quiet again. Zhou Hai's eyes suddenly lit up. He slapped his thigh and yelled, "With a son, hurry and tell the horseman gang that Hua Xiaojun brought that wild man to the village. This way, not only can we keep our lives, but the horseman gang might even reward us." Zhou Hai's idea was truly brilliant. The villagers instantly became excited. Big brother Zhou thought of a good idea. "I think we'll do it this way. As lowly people, they should drag out an ignoble existence. They actually dared to offend the horseman gang. That bastard couple is courting death." Everyone agreed with this idea. Zhou Dafei's depressed expression disappeared, and he hurriedly rushed to the horseman gang's mountaintop. The Hua family village looked calm and peaceful in the afternoon, but there was a hidden danger. Hua Xiaojun chatted with her grandmother for the entire afternoon before reluctantly preparing to leave. Young Master Qiao, let's hurry and leave. Hua Xiaozhen said in a low voice, deeply afraid of disturbing Qin Feng's rest. Qin Feng got off the bed and looked seriously at Hua Xiaozhen. We're not in a hurry to leave now. Wait until I destroy the horseman gang. Hua Xiaozhen was extremely anxious. Wang Shumei already walked up to persuade him. Young Master Qiao, we appreciate your intentions, but the horseman gang isn't something you can deal with. Hurry and take Xiaozhen away. Don't ever return to the Hua family village. The two women started to persuade Qin Feng again. Halfway through, the sound of horse hooves suddenly came from outside the house. The two women were so scared that they almost knelt down. Crap, I'm afraid the horseman gang is here. Wang Shumei's hand holding her walking stick trembled. Hua Xiaozhen couldn't care less about the difference between master and servant. She forcefully pulled Qin Feng towards the back room. Young Master Qiao, hurry and come with me. If you don't leave now, it'll be too late. Seeing the two women jump up and down anxiously, Qin Feng felt helpless. His expression was indifferent, as if nothing had happened. A black shadow jumped into the room, scaring Hua Xiaozhen into crying out, Zhou Dafei. What are you doing here? Zhou Dafei's face was still a bit swollen, but he was currently flushed with success. He smiled at Qin Feng and said, stinking brat, now you know to run. Weren't you very arrogant earlier? You even said you wanted to destroy the horseman gang. Now that I've called the horseman gang over, why don't you destroy one for your elder to see? Hua Xiaozhen was so angry that her face turned green. She had been bullied by this guy since she was young, but because of her ideals, she had always endured humiliation. Now that she found out that Zhou Dafei intentionally called the mountain bandits over to harm Qin Feng, this woman who had never said a dirty word in her 20 years exploded. Zhou Dafei, you bastard, what grievances does young Master Qiao have with you? Why do you want to harm him? Zhou Dafei suddenly froze. This was the first time he had seen Hua Xiaozhen so angry. What was wrong with this woman today? Hua Xiaozhen, you dare to yell at your elder. Just you wait. After your dogs hit young Master Qiao is torn to pieces by the horseman gang, I'll force myself on you. Zhou Dafei was also furious. He stared at Hua Xiaozhen's body without restraint. His frivolous words almost made Wang Shumei faint from anger. Chapter 1348. Hua Xiaozhen cried, but not because she was insulted. She had endured humiliation since she was young and was used to it. She realized that young Master Qiao would definitely die this time. Young Master Qiao, this lowly servant is guilty. This lowly servant has let young Master Qiao down. Hua Xiaozhen suddenly knelt in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng was about to go crazy. He held back a bellyful of anger and suddenly disappeared. He appeared in front of Zhou Dafei in the blink of an eye. Slap! A loud slap spread out, stunning Wang Shumei and Hua Xiaozhen. Qin Feng's slap was so overbearing that half of Zhou Dafei's face immediately swelled up. He felt as if his head was almost sent flying. You dare to hit me. You. Zhou Dafei stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. He was halfway through his sentence when Qin Feng slapped him again. I have to thank you, idiot. You saved me the trouble of finding the horseman gang myself. These 2 slaps are for Xiaozhen. If you dare to bully her again, I'll take your dog life. Although Qin Feng couldn't circulate his true energy, his stage 8 external strength couldn't be underestimated. At least, it was more than enough to deal with normal people. The 2 slaps completely stunned Zhou Dafei. Wang Shumei was still staring with her old eyes wide open. Hua Xiaozhen was still kneeling on the ground, and her tears flowed even more. This time, she was moved to tears. She had been a servant for more than 10 years and had changed countless mistresses, but this was the first time she had met such a good mistress like Qin Feng. Bang! A muffled explosion sounded. Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to talk to Zhou Dafei anymore. He kicked him dozens of meters away. At this time, the sound of hooves stopped. Qin Feng walked out of the room and saw over 20 mountain bandits at the village entrance. Each of them rode a large horse. They were bare-chested and had a large knife at their waists. They fiercely surrounded the village. Not good, the horseman gang is here. So many at once. This time, Hua Xiaozhen and young Master Qiao are dead for sure. That Qiao guy is so arrogant. He actually dared to attack Zhou Dafei. The entire Hua family village gathered at the village entrance. They trembled in fear when they saw the 20 mountain bandits. The leader was a bald, brawny man. His eyes were half closed as he looked at the crowd with disdain. He suddenly shouted, "Who the hell dares to kill the brothers of the horseman gang? Hurry up and come out to die." This bald-headed big brother was the second leader of the horseshoe gang, Ma Long, who was at the first stage of True Qi realm. That angry roar was like muffled thunder, scaring many villagers into kneeling. Zhou Dafei's father, Zhou Hai, was jolted awake. When he saw his son lying on the ground unconscious, he mustered up his courage and ran to Ma Long. "Big brothers, I know who framed your brothers." Ma Long glared at him and roared, "Who is it? Point me out and I'll spare the lives of the others." All of the villagers breathed a sigh of relief. Zhou Hai hurriedly pointed at Qin Feng and yelled, It's that stinking brat in the silk brocade." Ma Long's gaze fell on Qin Feng. After sizing him up, he did not take Qin Feng seriously. He suddenly leapt off the horse and landed in front of Qin Feng, who was more than 10 meters away. When he landed, he had already pulled out the large saber at his waist and was about to cut Qin Feng in half. "Big brother, please have mercy. I am willing to go back with big brother. Please spare young Master Qiao." Before Qin Feng could make a move, Hua Xiaozhen suddenly ran out and knelt in front of everyone, crying her heart out. The large saber in Ma Long's hand hovered above Qin Feng's head. After he glanced at Hua Xiaozhen, a playful expression appeared on his face. "Yo! Isn't this the woman that my big brother has his eyes on? As expected, she's pretty enough. After I kill this brat, I'll bring you back to the mountain and satisfy you every night." Ma Long ignored Hua Xiaozhen's pleas. After regaining his senses, he prepared to continue slashing. Qin Feng was still rational and did not clash with this group of people. With his current strength, he could only rely on the star technology to deal with more than 20 True Qi level 1 bandits. However, this was the Hua family village. He couldn't possibly kill everyone, right? Otherwise, if the star technology was exposed, it would definitely cause a lot of trouble. Qin Feng also thought of letting the Golden Fur Lion King fight, but in the end, the location of the Hua family village was not suitable for a fierce battle. After the battle, the villagers would definitely leak the news. "Hero, don't kill me. I have a lot of gold. How about I give it all to you?" Just as the large saber was about to graze his scalp, Qin Feng suddenly took out a handful of gold bars. Even the horseman gang's second leader, Ma Long, was stunned. He had been a bandit for so many years and robbed a lot of money, but this was the first time he had seen so many gold bars. "Damn, where did you get so many gold bars, brat? Which family's disciple are you?" Ma Long snatched the dozen or so gold bars from Qin Feng's hand. He knocked on them and discovered that they were really pure gold. He was a bit worried. Could it be that he had met the son of a rich family? "I'm not from distant Ice City. I came from another place to do business. I've earned a lot of money these years. As long as you spare my life, I'm willing to give you all of my family's wealth," Qin Feng pretended to be greedy for life and afraid of death. The group of bandits had already surrounded him. When they saw the dozen or so gold bars Qin Feng took out, their expressions became excited. Second leader, this brat is really fucking rich. We must squeeze him dry. Since he's from another place, there's nothing to be afraid of. Our horseman gang is going to make a fortune this time. Big brother, why don't we bring this brat and that woman back to the horseman gang? The group of bandits discussed fervently. Qin Feng's wealth was too shocking, and even Ma Long didn't dare to make a rash decision. If he killed Qin Feng now, he would be reprimanded by his big brother. Not only the bandits, but the villagers of Hua village were also stunned. They could tell that Qin Feng was the son of a rich family from his silk brocade clothes, but they didn't expect him to be so rich. As the villagers of Hua village, they were all the poorest people. They couldn't even earn a single gold coin in their lifetime, let alone gold bars. Brat, come back to the horseman gang with us. In the end, Ma Long put away his broadsword. Hua Xiaojun hastily crawled up and hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly. Why you can't bring young Master Qiao back? If you want to bring him back, bring me back. Ma Long was deeply attracted by Hua Xiaojun's beauty. He originally planned to do it in the village, but when he saw the dozen or so gold bars, he lost the mood to have fun. He just wanted to bring Qin Feng back as soon as possible and let his big brother deal with this matter. Shut up, you bitch. I'll bring you back even if you don't say anything. The brothers of the horseman gang still want to play with you. Qin Feng was enraged, but he suppressed it in the end. He knew very well that a little impatience would spoil a great plan. Xiaojun, don't worry. Come with me to the horseman gang. Grandma Wang, just wait for us to come back. Qin Feng was afraid that Wang Xiumei would be worried, so he comforted her. Ma Long couldn't help but burst into laughter. Ha! What are you daydreaming about, brat? You want to come back after going to the horseman gang? Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and leave, or I'll kill you right now. As if he didn't hear Ma Long's words, Qin Feng dragged Hua Xiaojun out of the village. Ma Long roared, You brat, get on that horse. You bitch, get on my horse. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she grabbed the corner of Qin Feng's clothes tightly. She didn't want to stay with Ma Long even if she was beaten to death. Qin Feng whistled. His strange action startled everyone. After a while, a fiery red horse galloped toward them like a burning flame in the wind. Fuck! That's a Fergana horse, second leader. Damn it! Even my big brother doesn't have such a good warhorse. You really know how to enjoy yourself, brat. This horse belongs to me. Ma Long was once again shocked by Qin Feng's wealth. This Fergana horse required at least dozens of gold bars to buy. His eyes lit up, and he leaped onto the flaming dragon horse. However, the flaming dragon horse suddenly went berserk. It ran around wildly and struggled, and it almost threw Ma Long off a few times. I advise you to get off. This Fergana horse is unyielding, and it only recognizes one master in its life. Other than me, no one else can ride it. Qin Feng's words made Ma Long furious, but he had no choice but to accept the reality. The fiery dragon horse became more and more violent, and Ma Long felt that he couldn't hold it anymore. He had no choice but to jump back onto his horse. Flaming dragon horse galloped over. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaojun and leaped lightly onto its back. The wind whistled past his ears. Flaming dragon horse was as fast as a bolt of lightning. In the moment that everyone was stunned, they were almost out of sight. What are you waiting for? Where's the horseshoe gang? Quickly lead the way. Qin Feng's voice drifted over, and the bandits and villagers were startled. The atmosphere became extremely strange. Damn you! Don't let me catch you. I'll kill you with one slash. Ma Long swung his saber and slapped Ma Long's butt. The fiery dragon horse galloped away. Ma Long was extremely depressed. He felt that something was wrong. Why did that brat look like he couldn't wait to go to the horseshoe gang? Qin Feng took the lead and charged at the very front. Ma Long and the others tried their best, but they couldn't catch up to him. The 20 or so war horses were almost exhausted to death. Hua Xiaojun finally woke up and hurriedly shouted at Qin Feng, "Young Master Qiao, this horse is so fast. Let's quickly run to the west. There's a yamen there. I believe those bandits won't dare to act recklessly once we reach the yamen." Hua Xiaojun still didn't think that Qin Feng could defeat the bandits. After all, she knew too little about Qin Feng. However, Qin Feng didn't change his direction. Instead, he galloped toward the horseshoe gang's mountain. Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that her head was covered in sweat. At this moment, she was nestled in Qin Feng's arms. Coupled with the fact that the fiery dragon horse was galloping at full speed, Qin Feng was somewhat infuriated. "Young Master Qiao, why you're running in the wrong direction? Quickly run to the west. We'll reach the horseshoe gang's mountain soon. At that time, you won't be able to escape." Hua Xiaojun's voice began to tremble. Qin Feng hugged her tighter and said gently, "Don't worry. I said that I'm going to destroy the horseshoe gang. I wasn't joking. If you don't believe me, ride this fiery dragon horse back to the Hua family village. I'll come back to find you after I destroy the horseshoe gang." Chapter 1349. To be honest, Qin Feng did not want to bring Hua Xiaojun to the horseman gang's base. This woman was just an ordinary, weak woman. Moreover, he was severely injured. If a fight broke out, he would have to take care of Hua Xiaojun's safety. However, Hua Xiaojun was unwilling to leave. She still believed that she would definitely die. Since young Master Qiao insisted on going, Hua Xiaojun would follow him even if she knew she would die. "Young Master Qiao, please don't say that. I'm your servant now, and I don't want to serve other people anymore. Please don't abandon me. I'll serve you with all my heart." Hua Xiaojun was about to cry as she spoke. Qin Feng was somewhat speechless, but he also felt a trace of pity for her. He hugged her tighter and said, "Don't be afraid, I'll protect you." Qin Feng sped up after he finished speaking. He was filled with anger, and he was going to kill everyone in the horseman gang's base. Hua Xiaojun was so touched that she was about to melt in Qin Feng's arms. She had been a lowly servant for more than 10 years. In the past, she was beaten and scolded by her master whenever she did something wrong. Before she met young Master Qiao, she would never have thought that her master would take the initiative to protect a lowly servant. Nay! A horse neighed, and Flaming Dragon reared its front hooves. If Qin Feng did not hug Hua Xiaojun tightly, she would have been thrown off the horse. In front of them was a hilltop, and there were dozens of strong men guarding it. When they saw Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun, dozens of fierce horses rushed down from the hillside. "Who dares to trespass the horseman gang's territory? Are you seeking death? The second elder is back. What's going on?" The bandits who came down from the hilltop were dumbfounded. They surrounded Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun, but they did not dare to act recklessly. After waiting for 5 to 6 minutes, Ma Long and his men finally arrived at the foot of the hill. As soon as he jumped down from his horse, the black horse knelt on the ground. It was exhausted to death. Ma Long was enraged. He felt that Qin Feng had slapped him in the face. He walked over with his saber in hand. "You stinking brat, are you trying to show me that your horse is faster? Do you believe that I won't kill you with my saber?" The roar was like thunder, scaring the bandits into taking a few steps back. Hua Xiaojun screamed in fright, but she braced herself and stood in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng's expression did not change as he said indifferently, "If you kill me, don't even think about getting the rest of the money." The saber finally stopped hovering above Qin Feng's head. Ma Long was so angry that his nostrils flared. At this time, another group of people came down from the mountain. Among them was a long-haired man with a red cloak. "Second brother, what's going on?" The man seemed to have landed at the bottom of the mountain from the waist of the mountain in just a few leaps. When Ma Long saw the man, he immediately became respectful. "Big brother, I went to Hua village and caught the girl that you were interested in." The long-haired man in the red cloak was the leader of the horseshoe gang, Ma Qing. When he saw Hua Xiaojun, his eyes lit up and he was about to pounce on her, strip her naked, and start a fight. However, when he saw Qin Feng, he was stunned. "Where did this brat come from? You dare to touch the woman that I like? You're courting death." When he saw Hua Xiaojun lying in Qin Feng's arms, Ma Qing's expression became ruthless. He immediately drew his saber and swung it down. However, a loud sound rang in the air. Ma Qing's domineering saber was blocked by Ma Long. "Ma Long, are you rebelling?" Ma Qing was stunned and stared at Ma Long in disbelief. Ma Long broke out in a cold sweat and quickly explained, "What are you talking about, big brother? Why would I rebel? I can't kill this brat now. He has a lot of money." Ma Qing's expression changed a few times, but he was still angry. "Humph. So what if he has money? If the leader of the horseshoe gang wants to kill someone, why would he care if he has money or not? Do you think the horseshoe gang is beggar? Do you think I don't give you enough money?" After being scolded by Ma Qing, Ma Long felt sullen, but he didn't dare to show it. In the entire horseshoe gang, only Ma Qing had stepped into the second stage of true qi. Ma Long knew that he couldn't win against his big brother. "Big brother, don't be angry. Listen to me explain the situation in detail." As Ma Long spoke, he quickly took out a dozen or so gold bars from his bosom. They had taken them from Qin Feng. Instantly, cries of surprise came from the bottom of the mountain. The 50 or so horseshoe gang members gathered around were all dumbfounded. They usually killed, burned, and looted, and they had earned a lot of money. However, things like gold bars were precious. Even these mountain bandits rarely saw them. Ma Qing's pupils constricted, and his voice trembled. Where did these gold bars come from? Could it be that they were found on that brat? Ma Qing's guess shocked everyone. A person carrying a dozen or so gold bars on him, how rich was this guy? "Big brother, they were found on that brat. If he wasn't so rich, how would I dare to block big brother's knife?" Ma Long quickly said. Ma Qing finally understood, and the anger on his face dissipated. He suddenly looked at Qin Feng with a sneer. "Stinking brat, you're really rich. How much more money do you have hidden outside?" Qin Feng had been secretly investigating the horseshoe gang's terrain. He found that the horseshoe gang was located in a barren mountain, and he couldn't see any houses around it. This was exactly what he wanted, and he was ready to make a move at any time. "I have a lot of property, and I'm as rich as a country. Do you want it?" Qin Feng looked at Ma Qing with a smile. The eyes of the mountain bandits lit up. Ma Qing shouted excitedly, "Where did you put your property? As long as you give me all your money, I promise to spare your life. As for that woman, I won't play with her anymore. I'll give her to you." Ma Qing began to throw out all kinds of bait. Qin Feng laughed inwardly. Was he trying to trick him like he was a 3-year-old? Young Master Qiao, don't believe them. These mountain bandits are the most untrustworthy." Hua Xiaojun saw through the scam and couldn't help but warn Qin Feng. Ma Qing was instantly enraged. He glared at Hua Xiaojun and roared, "You bitch, do you believe that I'll strip you naked if you keep talking? Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she cried. She hid behind Qin Feng, feeling wronged. A wave of anger surged from Qin Feng's heart, as if it was going to burn him up. You ant-like trash, how dare you speak disrespectfully to my people? Kneel and kowtow to admit your mistake, or else I'll teach you a lesson. Qin Feng suddenly roared angrily, stunning the crowd. Even Hua Xiaojun was stunned. She looked at Qin Feng in a daze and felt that young Master Qiao had suddenly changed into a different person. The Horseshoe Gang finally came to their senses with great difficulty, and they immediately burst into an uproar. The 50 or so people gathered around all drew their long sabers from their waists. The cold light flickered, and it was so bright that Hua Xiaojun couldn't open her eyes. Brat, how can you speak to the leader like that? Do you want to die? Leader, don't talk nonsense with this brat. If he's not willing to hand over his property, we'll chop off his hands and feet, cut off his flesh piece by piece, and make him wish he was dead. Let's see if he'll still talk then. These bandits were vicious, and their words scared Hua Xiaojun so much that she trembled. However, a muffled sound suddenly came from the noisy crowd. Qin Feng unleashed his full strength and threw a punch, sending a row of bandits flying more than 10 meters away. The others were shocked, and they quickly came to their senses. They brandished their large sabers and slashed at Qin Feng. Motherfucker, you're courting death, brat. The scene of more than 40 bandits moving at the same time was spectacular enough, and Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she couldn't move. However, she heard the wind whistling beside her ears. She didn't know when, but Qin Feng had thrown her onto the fire dragon horse. The fierce horse galloped into the distance. When Hua Xiaojun came to her senses, she found that young Master Qiao was in deep danger alone. Brat, let's see where you can run to now. Qin Feng's current strength was too weak. He had just sent Hua Xiaojun away when Ma Qing appeared in the air behind him. The large saber in his hand flickered, and he was about to slash Qin Feng, rumble. However, at this moment, a loud explosion sounded, and the berserk true energy shocked the crowd. A golden light seemed to descend from the sky and landed behind Ma Qing. Ma Qing's expression changed greatly, and when he wanted to turn his head to look, his entire body suddenly exploded in mid-air. Bang bang bang. The sound of explosions rang out continuously, and the smell of blood wafted through the air. The group of bandits suddenly stopped, and their eyeballs and jaws dropped to the ground. That was their great master, a powerful expert at the second level of true energy. Yet, he exploded in mid-air for no reason, and dispersed like fireworks. Ma Qing didn't explode by himself, he was killed by the Golden Fur Lion King's saber. However, the Golden Fur Lion King's speed was too fast, and the group of true energy level 1 bandits didn't even notice his appearance. Ha! When did you come out, old man? Old fart, hurry up and scram. There's going to be murder here, do you want to die too? Great Master has been killed. Brothers, don't talk nonsense. Let's chop this brat into pieces and avenge the Great Master. Ma Long roared angrily. Looking at the sinister and sorrowful expression on his face, he was actually overjoyed. Now that the Great Master was dead, didn't that mean that he, Ma Long, had become the Great Master? The entire Horseshoe Gang was under his control. As for how Ma Qing died, Ma Long didn't think of Qin Feng and the Golden Fur Lion King at all. He thought that his elder brother's cultivation was incorrect, and it caused his body to explode. A bunch of ants dared to behave atrociously in front of this old man. The Golden Fur Lion King stood in front of Qin Feng with his saber, like a towering mountain. Looking at the 20 or so bandits pouncing towards him, the Golden Fur Lion King didn't move at all. He casually waved the Dragon Slayer saber in his hand, and immediately drew out a 100-meter-long golden saber chi. The loud sound shook the entire valley. The long saber fell to the ground, and a deep ravine appeared in the ground within 100 meters. The group of bandits were instantly smashed into pieces by the explosion, and they didn't even understand the situation before they died. With this saber, the Golden Fur Lion King killed 6 powerful experts at the first level of true energy. The remaining bandits were stunned on the spot, and their expressions were that of seeing a ghost. Rumble. However, at this moment, an even louder muffled sound exploded. The Horseshoe Gang's mountain peak seemed to have been hit by something. The half-tall mountain peak shook violently, and it felt like the entire mountain peak was about to collapse. Chapter 1350. The bandits of the Horseman Gang were dumbfounded. They stared stupidly at the fiery red cannon on Qin Feng's shoulder. They really couldn't figure out what kind of weapon this was. Was it really convenient to use a big and round one? Rumble. While they were dumbfounded, Qin Feng proved the power of the fire cloud cannon. 3 fiery red cannonballs whizzed out and ignited a violent flame in the air. They were like 3 small suns that slowly rose and landed on the Horseman Gang's mountain. Immediately, a loud noise shook the heavens and the mountain exploded. It was like the prelude to the end of the world. Suddenly, dozens of black figures jumped out from the mountain. The bandits were resting in the cave and were frightened by this violent movement. "Big Boss, what's going on?" The bandits that came out later didn't understand the situation and heard the other bandits yell, "Big Boss is dead, someone is attacking the Horseman Gang. Quickly come and help." The group of bandits was shocked. There was someone in the Hua family village who dared to attack the Horseman Gang. Even the bailiffs of the Yamen didn't dare to come. Was this person tired of living? Where's second boss? Who's causing trouble? Someone yelled again. Second boss is also dead. Brothers, don't talk nonsense and quickly kill those 2 fellows. The mountain bandits were extremely depressed. Both the first leader and the second leader were dead. Aren't these troublemakers too fierce? However, the bandits that came out later relied on their numbers and simply didn't put Golden Fur Lion King in their eyes. Suddenly, 5 black figures appeared in the air. The 5 bandits already arrived on top of Golden Fur Lion King's head and the broadswords in their hands were about to fall. Rumble. A loud noise exploded. Golden Fur Lion King's expression was cold. He didn't even look at the people in the air and slashed horizontally with his broadsword. Instantly, it was as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. Before the sneers on the 5 bandits' faces could fade, their bodies had already exploded into bloody foam. The dozens of bandits that rushed over were suddenly stunned. They grabbed their broadswords and stood stupidly at the bottom of the mountain. They were truly scared silly by Golden Fur Lion King's strength. Where did this madman come from? He killed 5 level 1 true Qi experts with 1 slash. Could he be an expert from the Holy Gate? Lion King, be careful. While the mountain bandits were still in a daze, Qin Feng yelled. The Golden Fur Lion King hurriedly leaped up and instantly retreated to the empty space 100 meters away. The bandits of the Horseman Gang still didn't understand what was going on. How powerful was the golden-haired elder? Why did he suddenly run away? They saw that Qin Feng was carrying a fiery red cannon on his shoulder, but none of the bandits could recognize what it was. How could such a clumsy toy be used as a weapon? I'd be damned if I could kill someone. Where did this stupid bastard come from? How dare he behave atrociously in the horseman's territory? Brothers, let's kill this bastard together. Everyone came to their senses. They were afraid of the Golden Fur Lion King's might, but they didn't put Qin Feng in their eyes. Instantly, a dozen or so black shadows flew over and landed in front of Qin Feng in a breath's time. More than a dozen large sabers slashed down. The saber shadows were as dense as a net, setting off a violent saber wind. Rumble. Originally, Qin Feng wanted to stand still and look like a heroic hero of the generation. However, he couldn't help but take a step back. The recoil of the fire cloud cannon was too strong, and he couldn't withstand it with his current strength. The huge red cannonball shot out, leaving behind 100-meter-long fire dragon Qi in the void. The dozen or so mountain bandits didn't even have a chance to react before they were devoured by the fiery dragon. The fire cloud cannon landed at the bottom of the mountain, causing the ground to shake violently. The remaining 50 or so mountain bandits were scared silly, as if they had seen a ghost. Fuck. What kind of weapon is that? Why is it so powerful? Could it be the Scarlet Demon Red equipment? It really is the legendary godly weapon. Everyone, run for your lives. This group of people who lived in a desolate place had never seen the advanced technology of the outside world, let alone the upgraded version of the star technology in Qin Feng's hands. Seeing that the fire cloud cannon was completely red, they actually mistook it for the Scarlet Demon Red equipment. Qin Feng sneered in his heart. He looked at the bandits who had already started to cover their heads and flee like rats. He didn't plan to stop here. The fire cloud cannon fired again. In an instant, it exploded on the mountain peak. Debris and sparks fell from the sky, and many mountain bandits were buried in the ruins. After 5 consecutive fire cloud cannons were fired, Qin Feng didn't buy any more ammunition. One fire cloud rock cost 50,000 hedonist points, and he could only fire 5 bullets. Qin Feng was completely infuriated by the mountain bandits' disrespect towards Hua Xiaozhen. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wasted his hedonist points to eliminate a group of mountain bandits. Qin Feng put away the fire cloud cannon, and another loud explosion sounded in the air. 6 clouds of black mist suddenly walked on the mountain peak, as if it had become a mountain of demons. The 5 kings of Verdant sect and the ghost face evil reverend had their golden ghost head talismans activated. The 6 of them were experts in the true Qi realm, so they could kill the mountain bandits in half a cup of tea's time. The surrounding noise gradually subsided, and the black mist dispersed. The golden fur lion king was also recalled into the system. It was as if nothing had happened. However, the ruins and the scene of blood flowing like a river indicated that a great battle had just taken place here. The horseman gang, which had been tyrannical in the Hua village for 3 to 4 years, was completely annihilated just like that. They were bandits that even the local yamen couldn't eliminate, but Qin Feng single-handedly eradicated them. A few gusts of wind blew, but the smell of blood was still somewhat strong in the air. Suddenly, Hua Xiaozhen's voice came from behind. "Young Master Qiao, sob sob, young Master Qiao." Qin Feng hurriedly ran down the mountain. He clearly told Flaming Dragon Horse to take Hua Xiaozhen to hide, so why did this girl run back? He saw that Hua Xiaozhen had returned alone. Her silk dress was in tatters, and her originally fair face had a few bloody scratches. She held a wooden stick in her hand as she limped up the mountain. "Xiaozhen, who injured you like this?" Qin Feng rushed over to support her. Hua Xiaozhen was stunned at first, then she fell into Qin Feng's arms. Sob sob. "Young Master Qiao, I thought you were dead." Sob sob, "I was so scared." Qin Feng lightly patted her jade back and comforted her. "Don't worry, I've already eliminated the horseman gang. No one will force you in the future." Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she stopped crying. She looked towards the top of the mountain, and her body trembled again. The ground was covered in blood and minced meat. The horseman gang's mountain was even razed to the ground. This. Hua Xiaozhen was so shocked that she couldn't speak. She was a servant girl of the poor, so she couldn't understand what had happened here. Qin Feng couldn't explain, so he changed the topic. "That's right, why did you come back by yourself? Where's Flaming Dragon Horse?" Hua Xiaozhen suddenly became nervous and carefully said, "Young Master Qiao, it's this lowly servant's fault." This lowly servant was worried about young Master Qiao's safety and jumped off the horse halfway. That Fergana horse might have gotten lost. Sob sob, please punish this lowly servant severely, young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaozhen had heard Ma Long tell her about flaming dragon horses' value. It wasn't something that could be bought with dozens of gold bars. As a pauper, Hua Xiaozhen couldn't even earn a single gold coin in her entire life. Now that she had lost young Master Qiao's Fergana horse, she wanted to bang her head against the wall and die. Great waves surged in Qin Feng's heart. He finally understood how this woman's injuries came about. The flaming dragon horse was so fast that even Qin Feng didn't dare to casually jump off its back. Hua Xiaozhen, a weak woman, had fallen off the horse, yet she endured the pain and walked all the way back to the mountain top. Qin Feng was truly warmed by this woman's foolish thoughts. "Xiaozhen, don't cry. That horse wasn't lost. Don't do this kind of stupid thing in the future. What if you fall off and something bad happens?" Qin Feng had already taken out a bottle of healing powder from the emerald spirit ring and carefully applied it to Hua Xiaozhen's wounds. Hua Xiaozhen's delicate body trembled, and she didn't dare to move. At this moment, she was so touched that she wanted to cry again. Young Master Qiao was the best master she had ever met. She couldn't wait to give her entire life to Qin Feng. Flaming Dragon Horse ran back by itself. When it discovered that Hua Xiaozhen had gotten lost, it also felt depressed. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen and jumped onto the horse's back. He casually shot out a few balls of fire of destruction, burning the top of the mountain to nothing. Although he was currently unable to circulate his true qi, the fire of destruction was the 10,000 beast true fire and didn't rely on true qi to activate it. However, Qin Feng previously used the divine skill interface to fuse the wind blade and the fire of destruction into the fire blade godly skill. Now, he couldn't use it because the wind blade required true qi to activate. This round trip took up a lot of time. It was already afternoon, and the villagers of Hua family village were restless the whole day. Today, they didn't even do any work. They all gathered at the entrance of the village and chatted intensely. "Do you guys think the horseman gang's bandits will deal with us?" An old man sighed while smoking his pipe. Everyone's faces were a bit nervous. Zhou Hai said, "I already told Zhou Dafei to inform them. This time, we made a contribution. I believe those bandits won't make things difficult for us." Zhou Dafei was kicked unconscious by Qin Feng in the morning, and he still hadn't woken up. Someone else said, "I think what Uncle Zhou said is reasonable. Now that Hua Xiaozhen is serving those bandits, she can be considered a member of the horseman gang, and that girl is also from Hua family village. The horseman gang's bandits will more or less give us some face. Who knows if that slut Hua Xiaozhen will obey. Does that girl really think she's a young miss? She sneakily ran away before. This time, if she runs away or commits suicide, we're all finished." The crowd discussed, but no one was sure. Seeing that the sky was getting darker and darker, everyone didn't even have the mood to finish their meal. However, at this time, they heard the sound of horse hooves rushing over. Everyone's expression changed drastically, and they all stood up to look into the distance. There seems to be the sound of horses. Could it be the horseman gang? There's only one horse. That's Hua Xiaozhen and that young Master Qiao. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. That wild man offended the horseman gang and should have been torn apart by 5 horses. How could he bring Hua Xiaozhen back? The villagers all looked like they had seen a ghost. Some people continuously rubbed their eyes until they were about to explode, but the scene in front of them didn't change. Chapter 1351. Xiaojun. Young Master Qiao. Why you guys? Wang Shumei heard the commotion and immediately rushed out. After Qin Feng and Xiaojun were taken away, this poor old grandma cried for an entire day. She cried until she was blind. Wah wah. Grandma, Xiaojun is unfilial and made grandma worry. Hua Xiaojun jumped into her grandma's arms as soon as she got off the horse. The two hugged each other and cried bitterly. Neither of them thought they would meet again in this life. Qin Feng stood to the side and felt a little emotional. He thought of the women in Hero City, his family in the Qin Manor in the provincial capital, and his father in Devil Beast Mountain. Qin Feng also wanted to go home and reunite with them, but he had just arrived in China and found the situation here complicated. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to go back for a while. Hua Xiaojun finally came back to her senses after crying for a while. She quickly wiped the tears from her grandmother's eyes and revealed a rare sweet smile. Grandma, don't worry. Young Master Qiao has already destroyed the horseman gang. No bandits will disturb our peaceful life in the future. Hua Xiaojun's voice wasn't loud, but it was clearly heard by everyone. The villagers' expressions changed drastically. Many of them were so scared that they sat on the ground. Why you crazy girl, don't talk nonsense. If you want to die, don't take us with you. Zhou Hai's voice was trembling. He didn't believe the horseman gang was eliminated even if he was beaten to death. The other villagers also came back to their senses and criticized Hua Xiaojun for speaking nonsense. Witch, you're simply a witch. Hurry and get out of Hua village. We don't welcome you here. These two must have escaped halfway. I'm afraid the horseman gang will catch up soon. Those bandits don't have good tempers. They'll definitely be angry this time. Everyone thought Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun had escaped. They became even more nervous. If the horseman gang came again, they wouldn't be so easy to talk to. Uncle Zhou, hurry and tell your son to inform them again. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome if the horseman gang catches up, someone suggested. Zhou Hai shouted anxiously, my son is knocked unconscious, how can he go? Forget it, I'll go myself. You guys look after these two scourges. Don't let them escape. Zhou Hai impatiently ran away. The Hua family village people surrounded Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. It looked like they were going to defend this place to the death tonight. Even Wang Shumei couldn't believe that the horseman gang had been destroyed. This was too unbelievable. She immediately pulled Xiaojun's hand and came to Qin Feng's side. Young Master Qiao, please take Xiaojun and run. The further, the better. It's best if you leave distant Ice City and never come back. Qin Feng felt a bit helpless, but he didn't explain because no one would believe him even if he did. Hua Xiaojun didn't believe it at first, but she saw the whole mountain of the horseman gang being razed to the ground with her own eyes, so she comforted Wang Shumei, Grandma, young Master Qiao really destroyed the horseman gang. We don't have to worry about those bandits coming to make trouble anymore. Wang Shumei was stunned and looked at Xiaojun strangely. Xiaojun never lied, so why did she lie today? The surrounding villagers sneered. They didn't believe Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun's nonsense at all. The horseshoe gang had a lot of people, and they were all powerful warriors. How could they be destroyed? Whether these people believed it or not, Qin Feng didn't care. He had already taken Hua Xiaojun and Wang Shumei back to the thatched hut. The villagers didn't dare to stop the three of them, mainly because they were worried about Qin Feng's skills. This person had knocked out village tyrant Zhou Dafei twice. He was too powerful. However, everyone didn't disperse. They split into two groups and guarded the front and back doors of Hua Xiaojun's house. They were afraid that Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun would escape. After entering the house, Qin Feng began to heal his injuries. Hua Xiaojun was completely relieved, and a warm smile appeared on her face from time to time. On the other hand, Wang Shumei was extremely anxious. She kept urging the two of them to quickly escape. This made Hua Xiaojun feel helpless. By the time Qin Feng and the other two had finished their dinner, Zhou Hai had finally rushed back. He looked as if he had seen a ghost, and his body was still trembling. Uncle Zhou is back. Ha! Zhou Hai, why didn't the Horseshoe Gang people come with you? They can't be really angry, right? Oh no, Hua Village is going to be unlucky. Everyone, hurry and escape through the night. The Horseshoe Gang bandits are going to start a massacre. It's all that bitch from the Hua family's fault. She caused everyone to end up like this. Zhou Hai hadn't even said a word, and the villagers were already talking all at once. Zhou Hai finally came to his senses, but the shock in the depths of his eyes hadn't disappeared. Even now, he couldn't understand why the Horseshoe Gang's mountain had disappeared. Over 100 fierce and cruel bandits disappeared with it. It was as if the Horseshoe Gang had never appeared in this area. The Horseshoe Gang is gone. Zhou Hai's voice trembled slightly. The villagers who were about to return to their houses to pack their things and escape suddenly stopped and looked at Zhou Hai in confusion. The Horseshoe Gang is gone. What does that mean? Uncle Zhou, can you explain it more clearly? Zhou Hai looked at the crowd in confusion and repeated, the Horseshoe Gang is gone. There's no Horseshoe Gang nearby, and not a single bandit can be seen. Could it be that I was hallucinating? The crowd was stunned, and some even suspected that Zhou Hai had gone crazy. Dad, what nonsense are you talking about? I went to the Horseshoe Gang's mountain to inform them this morning. Did you go the wrong way? Zhou Dafei had already woken up. He was knocked out twice by Qin Feng and was about to explode with anger. Zhou Hai had lived in this area for more than 40 years, so how could he go the wrong way? It's gone, it's really gone. The Horseshoe Gang is gone. Ghost, I must have seen a ghost. Zhou Hai seemed to have really gone crazy. He covered his head and screamed as he ran away. The villagers were dumbfounded. After a while, someone finally came to his senses and said, something's wrong. Who wants to go to the Horseshoe Gang's mountain with me? Let's go, I'll go with you. Zhou Dafei brought a few people and rushed to the Horseshoe Gang. The rest of the villagers hadn't even eaten dinner. They were so hungry that their stomachs were growling, but no one dared to leave Hua Xiaojun's house. Now that the situation was unclear, they had to continue watching Hua Xiaojun and young Master Qiao. After eating, Qin Feng went out for a walk. He was amused by the villagers' behavior when he saw that they were still guarding outside the door. When he came back, Hua Xiaojun came over anxiously. Young Master Qiao, I've found out what you wanted to know. Qin Feng pulled Hua Xiaojun to the woodshed and asked in a low voice, you're talking about the Holy Gate's disciple recruitment? Hua Xiaojun realized that Qin Feng didn't want others to know about this, so she said in a low voice, yes, young Master Qiao. There's still some time before the Holy Gate selection. It's tentatively set to be in half a year, but the exact time is still uncertain. Qin Feng was a little anxious. There's still half a year. If that's the case, doesn't that mean I have to stay in this desolate place for half a year? However, other than the Holy Gate selection, there seemed to be no other way. At least, Qin Feng had no clue about it at the moment. Young Master Qiao, why you must enter the Holy Gate? Hua Xiaojun felt sad when she saw Qin Feng's depressed expression. Qin Feng didn't need to hide it from Hua Xiaojun. He nodded and said, I'm here to go to the Thousand Shadows sect and the Spirit Beast sect. No matter what, I have to go. Hua Xiaojun's mood became even gloomier. She suddenly realized the huge gap between her and young Master Qiao. If young Master Qiao really entered the Holy Gate half a year later, she obviously wouldn't be able to enter. At that time, she would have to be separated from young Master Qiao. However, Hua Xiaojun couldn't wait to serve young Master Qiao for the rest of her life. What's wrong, Xiaojun? Qin Feng felt the change in Hua Xiaojun's emotions. Hua Xiaojun hurriedly squeezed out a smile, shook her head, and said, "It's nothing, young Master Qiao. It's getting late now. Let me serve you to the main room to rest." Hua Xiaojun didn't say what she was thinking. She felt that she was just a lowly servant. How could she hinder young Master Qiao's big plans because of her own selfishness? Qin Feng didn't ask further, but he didn't plan to get up and leave. There were only 2 rooms in Hua Xiaojun's house. The main room beside it and the storeroom that Qin Feng was currently in. Only the main room had a small bed. In the past, Hua Xiaojun and Wang Xiumei had squeezed onto the small bed and depended on each other. How could Qin Feng sleep on the same bed as Wang Xiumei? He also couldn't sleep with Hua Xiaojun and let Wang Xiumei sleep in this cold and damp storeroom, right? "I'll sleep here tonight. You can sleep with your grandmother." Qin Feng took off his jacket and spread it on the damp and cold weeds. Hua Xiaojun was so frightened that she cried out, "Oh! Young Master Qiao, hurry and get up. How can you sleep here? Hurry and go to the main room and sleep on the wooden bed." "I'll sleep here with grandmother." Qin Feng knew it would be like this. The women's thoughts here were too scary. Let him sleep on the bed and let grandmother sleep in the cold and damp storeroom. Qin Feng really couldn't do it. "Don't say any more. You're disturbing my rest." Qin Feng could only put on a straight face and pretend to be angry. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that tears fell from her eyes. "Young Master Qiao, don't blame me. It's all this lowly servant's fault. This lowly servant deserves to be hit." Hua Xiaojun raised her hand to hit herself. Qin Feng hurriedly stopped her. "Xiaojun, in the future, without my orders, you're not allowed to hit yourself. Do you hear me?" Hua Xiaojun's heart was filled with warmth. She nodded and carefully looked at Qin Feng. Qin Feng couldn't help but stroke her beautiful hair. He hugged her and lay down beside her. "Let grandmother sleep in the main room. Tonight, you'll sleep here with me." Hua Xiaojun wanted to say something, but in the end, she didn't. Her eyes became moist again. She realized that young Master Qiao was too good. Hua Xiaojun thought to herself, how good would it be if I could meet young Master Qiao when I was born and serve him from a young age. "Young Master Qiao, get up first. I'll put on an extra layer of clothes for you." Hua Xiaojun came to her senses. She hurriedly took off her silk dress and laid it under Qin Feng. The 2 of them wore white cotton clothes underneath. These things were probably the underwear that people here wore. The room was cold and damp. Hua Xiaojun's thin body shivered from the cold, but she pretended to be fine. She didn't sleep on the clothes and ran to the side to lie down on the weeds. Chapter 1352. Zhou Dafei, what's the situation? Are the bandits of the horsemen angry? Ha! Did you guys come back by yourselves? Why didn't the bandits come back with you? Everyone became nervous. They felt that something was wrong. Zhou Dafei and the others were dumbfounded. Just like Zhou Hai, they also found that the hilltop of the horsemen was gone. They searched for the whole night and almost turned the whole place upside down, but they didn't find a single person. Even if the horseman was wiped out, the hilltop should still be there. The bandits' corpses shouldn't have disappeared, right? But now, they didn't even find a fart. "Son, did the horseman disappear? I told you yesterday, but you didn't believe me." Zhou Hai was also in the crowd and shouted excitedly. Zhou Dafei had to accept this fact. He said to the crowd, "My dad is right. The horseman is really gone. It's like they disappeared from this area. The hilltop is gone, the bandits are gone, everything is gone. Zhou Dafei's words stunned the villagers. How could such a thing happen? This was simply a fantasy. But the other people who came back said the same thing as Zhou Dafei. Now, they had no choice but to believe it. They couldn't all be crazy, could they? The news of the horseman's disappearance spread throughout the 3 neighboring villages early in the morning. Those bandits not only harmed Hua village, but also the neighboring villages. The villagers were shocked. They didn't believe this nonsense at first. Even the Yamen of West Town couldn't do anything to the hundreds of bandits of the horsemen. How could they disappear overnight? However, many bold villagers formed teams to check the situation. In the end, they confirmed that the horseman gang had really disappeared. They had really disappeared. The hilltop was gone, and the bandits were gone. It was as if the horsemen had never appeared in this area. The news spread, and the villagers of the 3 villages in West Town were in an uproar. Everyone was overjoyed and felt more excited than the new year. Qin Feng had long since heard this news, but he stayed in his room to treat his injuries as if nothing had happened. However, the true qi in his body was unable to circulate, which made him feel somewhat helpless. Once again, Qin Feng began to think of a way to enter the Thousand Shadows sect. The Sacred Gates disciple recruitment would take at least half a year, and Qin Feng did not want to wait that long. He had to think of a countermeasure as soon as possible. Hua Xiaozhen saw the horseman gang disappear with her own eyes, but she still couldn't believe it. Wang Xiumei was even more shocked. Yesterday, Qin Feng told her many times that she didn't believe him. Now, the 3 villages had spread the news that the horseman gang really disappeared. Until the afternoon, this shocking news was still spreading. A burst of hurried horse hooves rushed over, causing all the villagers to run out. Could it be that the horseman gang appeared again? When everyone saw who it was, they all felt relieved. It was not the bandits of the horseman gang, but a group of bailiffs from the West Town Yamen. Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen also walked out of the house. There were a total of 12 bailiffs. They wore the same iron armor and had large knives at their waists. They stood at the village entrance on tall horses. Where is the person in charge of Hua village? The bailiff at the very front rode a black horse. He looked to be in his early 30s and had a dignified expression. The villagers of Hua village were nervous. As poor people, they could not afford to offend either the bandits or the bailiffs. Zhou Dafei ran out with a face full of smiles. This village was not like the outside world, where there was a village chief. The person in charge here was basically a village tyrant. "Sir, what instructions do you have for me?" Zhou Dafei's attitude was respectful. The head bailiff said coldly, "Someone spread a rumor that the horseman gang near West Town disappeared. Did the news come from your Hua village? You unruly people, how dare you spread this kind of rumor? Aren't you afraid of losing your head?" After understanding why these bailiffs had come, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Zhou Dafei continued to smile. "Sir, the news did indeed come from Hua village, but it wasn't a rumor. The bandits of the horseman gang really did disappear. Even their mountain peak couldn't be found." The head bailiff was called Zhang Zhen. After hearing Zhou Dafei's words, he suddenly froze. Then, he pulled out the large knife at his waist and angrily jumped off his horse. "You unruly people dare to spread rumors. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? The horseman gang has a lot of people, how could they disappear just like that?" Zhou Dafei felt a gust of wind and was so scared that he knelt on the ground. "Sir, spare me. I'm telling the truth. If I'm lying, I'm willing to die." The broadsword in Zhang Zhen's hand hovered above Zhou Dafei's head. His heart was filled with doubt. These poor people were all cowards, so how would they dare to lie to his face? The Zhou Dafei in front of him was clearly a coward. Could it be that what he said was true? Zhou Hai finally came to his senses. Seeing that his son was about to be killed, he immediately knelt in front of Zhang Zhen. Sir, my son didn't lie. The horseman gang is really gone. I didn't believe it at first, but later I personally went to see. I hope that sir can investigate it clearly. The villagers were all afraid. One by one, they stood up and expressed the truth of the horseman gang's disappearance. They weren't speaking for Zhou Dafei. They were afraid that Sir would not believe them and kill the entire village. Zhang Zhen's subordinates stared at each other, not knowing what to do. Even Zhang Zhen was confused. All the villagers in Hua village said that the horseman gang was gone. They couldn't all risk their lives to spread rumors, right? But how could the horseman gang be gone? As the head of the constables, he had encircled that mountain more than 10 times. Even now, he still hadn't exterminated the group of bandits. Zhang Zhen didn't continue. He turned around and ordered his 2 subordinates, go to the horseman gang and take a look. Come back quickly and report. The 2 constables immediately rode away. Zhang Zhen and the rest of the people stayed in Hua village to wait for news. If these villagers were lying, Zhang Zhen would start a massacre. Sir, why don't you come to my house first? I'll prepare some good wine and food for you. Zhou Dafei let out a long sigh of relief after escaping from death. He was a little clever and started to curry favor with these constables. This place was about 1 li away from the horseman gang. No matter how fast the 2 constables were, they would still need some time to return. Zhang Zhen followed Zhou Dafei to his house. Halfway there, he suddenly stopped and his eyes fell on Hua Xiaozhen. You, come out. Zhang Zhen suddenly pointed at Hua Xiaozhen. He was attracted by this woman's delicate and refined beauty at first glance. Hua Xiaozhen kept her head down and didn't want anything to happen. She didn't expect to be noticed by these constables. This made her so anxious that she wanted to cry. Sir, what do you want? Hua Xiaozhen still didn't dare to raise her head. She knew her beauty, and because of it, she only worked as a servant for the daughters of rich families. This was the first time she worked as a servant for a man. Hua Xiaozhen's voice was as soft and seductive as spring water. Zhang Zhen liked her even more. Raise your head. Hua Xiaozhen was secretly anxious, but she had to raise her head. When she raised her head, it was like a blooming epiphyllum. Seeing this, Zhang Zhen exclaimed in his heart. Even the constables behind him were burning with lust. That's right, come with me. Today, you will serve me. Zhang Zhen's tone was unquestionable. After speaking, he turned and left. However, after taking 2 steps, he suddenly stopped and turned around to stare at Hua Xiaozhen in disbelief. You lowly servant, I told you to follow me. What are you standing there for? Are you tired of living? Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she started to cry. However, she walked towards Zhang Zhen. She knew that these people were from the West Town Yamen. She was afraid that if she offended them, even her grandmother and young Master Qiao would be implicated. However, before she could walk out, she was blocked by Qin Feng. Hua Xiaozhen raised her head and felt that young Master Qiao's back was like a majestic mountain. It gave her a sense of security and warmth. Xiaozhen is already my servant. She will never serve anyone else. Zhang Zhen had been overbearing from beginning to end, pressuring the villagers to the point that they couldn't breathe. However, Qin Feng was even more domineering than him. His words caused the crowd to gasp. Is that brat crazy? He even dares to go against people from the Yamen. What kind of background does this young Master Qiao have? I feel like he's very powerful. I heard that he's not from here. No matter how powerful he is, it's useless. He came to West Town to play with people from the Yamen. I say he won't live past today. Many people looked at Qin Feng with schadenfreude. It was as if he was really going to be unlucky. Zhang Zhen froze for a moment, then flew into a rage. Brat, who do you think you are? So what if she's your servant? Now that I've taken a fancy to her, she's mine. Qin Feng was also a bit angry. If it weren't for the fact that they were in Hua village, he would have already blown this brat who didn't know his place. Milord, please calm down. Qiaoyang Master Qiao is indeed my master. This lowly servant has nothing good. I've already served young Master Qiao many times and am not fit to serve milord. I hope that milord won't blame me. Seeing that a fight was about to break out, Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that her face paled. She hurriedly came out to plead for Qin Feng. The crowd cried out inwardly, and the way they looked at Hua Xiaozhen suddenly changed. This woman had already been played with many times. She was a broken flower, and in the divine great land, this kind of woman would be spurned. Zhang Zhen's heart sank, and he didn't feel good. The women that other people played with always felt like a pile of shit. However, when he looked at Hua Xiaozhen's beauty again, his heart began to stir. As expected, you're a lowly servant. You don't have any sense of shame. What's the difference between a woman like you and a courtesan? Hurry and get over here and serve me well. Zhang Zhen gave Hua Xiaozhen the title of a courtesan. This way, it was reasonable for him to play with Hua Xiaozhen. Hua Xiaozhen felt wronged. In order to protect Qin Feng, she purposely said that she had given her body to master. However, she didn't think that Zhang Zhen would not let it go. Qin Feng's anger burned the heavens, and he was ready to attack. If worst came to worst, he'd just kill these Yamen runners and leave with Hua Xiaozhen. If worst came to worst, he'd just move to another city. How could he let these ants bully Hua Xiaozhen? Chapter 1353. Sir, please spare my granddaughter. This old woman is willing to serve you. Before Qin Feng could make a move, Wang Shumei suddenly knelt in front of Zhang Zhen. Everyone was taken aback, finding it somewhat funny. That Zhang Zhen had taken a liking to Hua Xiaozhen, so what was this old hag doing here? Who could bear to do that? Zhang Zhen was so angry that his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. He pulled out his large saber and was about to hack Wang Shumei. However, Qin Feng was faster than him and punched Zhang Zhen in the stomach, causing him to retreat 3 steps before he could stabilize himself. Whoosh! Suddenly, the sound of swords being unsheathed could be heard. The 9 Yamen runners surrounded Qin Feng, ready to fight at any moment. You unruly commoner, how dare you attack Sir Zhang? I think you're tired of living. Kneel and wait for your execution. Otherwise, we'll tear you to pieces. The group of Yamen runners spoke ruthlessly, but none of them actually attacked. Qin Feng's punch was so powerful that it made them feel some fear. Zhang Zhen was also stunned. He even forgot the pain in his body and looked at Qin Feng again. He didn't see any true qi flow on this person's body. Where did he get his strength from? A lowly commoner like you dares to behave atrociously in front of me. Capture him alive and tear him to pieces, Zhang Zhen roared, and the 9 Yamen runners immediately moved. However, a muffled sound came from Qin Feng's body, and a fiery red cylinder was placed on his shoulder. Everyone was stunned. No one had seen such a thing before. The villagers began to discuss it. What is this? Can such a big and round thing be used as a weapon? Don't tell me it's directly placed on someone's head to trap them. This person is dead for sure. How dare he offend the Yamen runners? He's just bluffing. The Yamen runners and Zhang Zhen were all shocked. They even stopped their attacks. Qin Feng ignored their reactions and retreated a few steps. Just as he was about to blow up these ants, Zhou Dafei suddenly ran to Zhang Zhen's side. "Constable, you can't kill that brat." Zhang Zhen's expression turned cold. He roared, "Why can't I kill him? Do I need you to tell me what to do? I think you must be tired of living." Zhou Dafei trembled in fear. How could he be so kind as to speak up for Qin Feng? He was just afraid that if the two of them really fought, the innocent would be harmed. If he died, who would he go to reason with? "My lord, I don't dare. It's just that he has a lot of gold bars and a Fergana horse. Moreover, the destruction of the Horsehead gang is closely related to him." Zhou Dafei lowered his voice and revealed the situation. Zhang Zhen's expression changed. He didn't care that Qin Feng was rich. After all, how much money could a commoner have? However, the destruction of the Horseshoe Gang made him a little worried. How could the Horseshoe Gang be destroyed for no reason? Could it really be that Chow fellow's doing? Speak clearly. What does the destruction of the Horseman Gang have to do with that kid? Zhang Zhen pretended to be arrogant, but deep down, he was a little uncertain. Zhou Dafei hurriedly said, "The Horseshoe Gang had their eyes on Hua Xiaozhen. Yesterday afternoon, they came to capture her and that Chow fellow went with them. Then, the two of them came back at night and disappeared with the Horseshoe Gang." "This is very strange," Zhou Dafei explained the situation, and Zhang Zhen became even more nervous. He had led the Yaman's bailiffs to attack the Horseshoe Gang's mountain more than 10 times, but they were unable to destroy the mountain bandits. That Chow fellow went to the Horseshoe Gang and disappeared. This was indeed very strange. The 9 bailiffs were still glaring at Qin Feng. Hua Xiaozhen cried and hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly. The villagers were so scared that they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The atmosphere was deadlocked. "Put away your weapons and follow me." After a while, Zhang Zhen suddenly sheathed his sword and left with Zhou Dafei with a cold expression. The 9 bailiffs heaved a sigh of relief and hurriedly left with Zhang Zhen. After everyone left, the villagers all heaved a long sigh of relief. Some of the more cowardly people sat on the ground and wet their pants. Wang Xiumei was also quite frightened. She hurriedly ran to Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen and urged them to run for their lives. "Young Master Qiao, let's leave this place." Hua Xiaozhen was also afraid. Compared to the ruthless mountain bandits, the Yaman's people were more terrifying. Qin Feng didn't want to leave. He could ignore the lives of the other people in Hua village, but he couldn't ignore Wang Xiumei's life. The bailiffs were all fierce and overbearing. How were they any different from the Horseshoe Gang's mountain bandits? Qin Feng believed that if he left with Hua Xiaozhen, Zhang Zhen would definitely kill Wang Xiumei to vent his anger. However, Qin Feng didn't mention these concerns. Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiumei didn't know about it. Seeing that Qin Feng didn't want to leave, they felt helpless. Zhang Zhen and his subordinates had already arrived at Zhou Dafei's house. The Zhou father and son took out the best wine and dishes from the family's collection. "Big brother Zhang, are you really going to let that brat go so easily? That brat is too arrogant." Everyone sat around the square table in the yard. The bailiffs were all suppressing their anger. As bailiffs of West Town, they had never been talked back to by a villager. Zhang Zhen was even angrier. He slammed the table and shouted, "Humph! How can we let that brat go so easily? Let's wait for Little 5 and Little 6 news and see if the Horseshoe Gang has really been destroyed." The bailiffs discussed, but they still didn't believe that the Horseshoe Gang had been destroyed. Zhou Dafei just happened to come up with a bottle of wine. He hurriedly said with a smile, "Sirs, I can guarantee with my head that the Horseshoe Gang has really disappeared." Everyone was stunned again. Could it be that the Horseshoe Gang had really been destroyed? This matter was simply too inconceivable. Zhou Dafei knew that these bailiffs wouldn't believe it for now because he didn't dare believe it when he heard it from his father. He personally went to look for it and confirmed the truth. Brat, tell me in detail. How was the horseshoe gang destroyed? Zhang Zhen asked coldly. Zhou Dafei kept a fawning smile on his face. He realized that his chance to make a fortune had come. As long as he treated these officials well, he could use their connections to get some good jobs. Lord Zhang, no one knows how the horseshoe gang was destroyed. It seems that it suddenly disappeared from this area in the afternoon. However, I'm sure that the disappearance of the horseshoe gang has a lot to do with Qiao. That's because the second leader of the horseshoe gang took Qiao and Hua Xiaozhen back. After that, the horseshoe gang disappeared. Zhou Dafei told them everything he knew without missing a single word. Zhang Zhen and the others listened with bewildered expressions, as if they were listening to a fairy tale. Zhou Dafei didn't care how the horseshoe gang disappeared. He was more concerned about what would happen next. He continued, Lord Zhang, the horseshoe gang is really gone. Now you should consider claiming credit and getting rewards. Zhang Zhen's eyes lit up. The bailiffs slapped their thighs and yelled, That's right, big brother Zhang. Now that the horseshoe gang has been destroyed, we've earned a lot. These bandits have lived in the West Town area for 3 to 4 years. The county magistrate has always withstood the pressure from the prefectural magistrate. Now that the horseshoe gang has been destroyed, the West Town bailiff's office has made a great contribution. That's not right. We didn't destroy the horseshoe gang. Even if there's a merit, it's most likely that it's that bullshit young Master Qiao, the crowd continued to discuss. The light in Zhang Zhen's eyes became brighter. How could he give such a great merit to Qin Feng? At most, he would find a chance to kill that brat and take the merit. All of you, shut up. Zhang Zhen suddenly roared, causing the crowd to quieten down. He continued, This time, I led you to the Hua village to destroy the bandits. With everyone's heroic efforts, the bandits were all eliminated, and the hilltop was destroyed by us. When we return tomorrow, we will report this to the county magistrate. Do you all understand? Zhang Zhen's words woke everyone up. These bailiffs were all smart people and immediately nodded to show that they understood. At this time, Zhou Dafei came over with a smile. Sir Zhang, what you see? Zhang Zhen understood Zhou Dafei's meaning and impatiently interrupted him. This time, you were the one who tipped us off to eliminate the bandits. When the time comes, I will mention you to the county magistrate. Zhou Dafei was so happy that he almost cried out. Zhou Hai admired his son's wit. He hurriedly ran back to the house and sliced the last kilogram of beef he had hidden. Everyone discussed the plan and felt very happy. Then, Zhou Dafei brought up another important matter. Sir Zhang, what do you plan to do with that Qiao guy? Zhang Zhen's smiling expression immediately became cold. He slammed the table and roared, That brat dares to oppose me. Just wait until we leave the village and hack him to death. Zhou Dafei hated Qin Feng very much. He also wanted Qin Feng to be hacked to death, but now was not the time to kill Qin Feng. Sir Zhang, that brat must be killed. However, before we kill him, we need to get his money. Zhou Dafei had previously mentioned that Qin Feng was very rich, but Zhang Zhen and the others did not take it to heart. As people from the Yamen, they had many ways to earn money. They were not lacking in money. What's a bit of money? Do you think I'm a beggar? Zhang Zhen's expression became cold and somewhat unhappy. Zhou Dafei broke out in a cold sweat and hurriedly explained, Sir, please don't be angry. I wouldn't dare to think of you like that. However, that Qiao guy is really rich. He casually took out a dozen gold bars. Yesterday, when the second-in-command of the horseshoe gang came to capture Qin Feng, the villagers saw Qin Feng take out a dozen gold bars. It was no longer a secret. Tisk, it's just a dozen gold bars. Zhang Zhen's face was full of disdain. However, halfway through his sentence, he was so shocked that he almost fell off his chair. Damn! What did you say? A dozen gold bars. Are you sure it's not a dozen copper coins? Zhou Dafei was speechless. Why would I tell you about a dozen copper coins? However, he did not dare to complain. He put on a smile and said, Sir Zhang, it really is a dozen gold bars. Although I fainted at the time and did not see it, the entire Hua village saw it. Moreover, the second-in-command of the Horseshoe Gang also checked the authenticity of the gold bars in front of everyone. They are definitely real gold. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site for the latest news. Chapter 1354. Zhang Zhen and the others were stunned. That was a dozen or so gold bars. Even they had never seen so much money before. They thought Qin Feng was just a poor commoner, and that his so-called money was just a few copper coins. It seemed like they were wrong. Seeing the shocked expressions on Zhang Zhen and the others' faces, Zhou Dafei continued, other than gold bars, that guy also has a top-notch Fergana horse. It said that just that horse alone costs dozens of gold bars, and there's no market for it. Everyone was truly shocked. They were puzzled. How could that brat be so rich? Where is that Chao guy from? What does he do specifically? Zhang Zhen had already started to have devious thoughts and started to ask about Qin Feng's situation. Zhou Dafei hurriedly said, I'm not too sure about that guy's background. He just arrived a few days ago and isn't a local of distant Ice City. Knowing that Qin Feng wasn't a local, Zhang Zhen immediately smiled lightly, Since he's not from our side, then we can deal with him however we want. That brat dared to offend me, so I'll just take his money, play with his servant, and then kill him. Zhang Zhen didn't care about Qin Feng anymore. The other bailiffs all agreed with this method. Zhou Dafei and his son were secretly pleased. They couldn't wait for Qin Feng to die, and now their wish was finally going to come true. After discussing business, they started to drink and chat. It wasn't until the middle of the night that the two bailiffs who went to investigate the situation returned. Just as the villagers said, the horseman gang really disappeared. Even the mountain where the base was located couldn't be found. Last night, Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaozhen to sleep in the woodshed. He dreamt that Lin Bei Bei climbed into his bed in the middle of the night and touched her in his dreams. Hua Xiaozhen was tormented and didn't sleep well. She was so scared that she almost cried a few times. Early in the morning, they heard a commotion outside. The village entrance was already surrounded by villagers. Zhang Zhen brought a group of bailiffs and surrounded Hua Xiaozhen's house. A bailiff broke in and scared Hua Xiaozhen so much that she jumped up. What do you want? Hua Xiaozhen was very scared herself, but she instinctively stood in front of Qin Feng. She was only wearing a thin layer of white pajamas, which accentuated her sexy figure. The bailiff stared at her, causing Hua Xiaozhen to tremble in fear. Little beauty, don't be afraid. Big brother is here to take you to the yamen to receive your reward. The yamen runner had an evil smile on his face. His eyeballs were practically glued to Hua Xiaozhen's chest. Qin Feng had already stood up and was holding Hua Xiaozhen in his arms. This woman's body was really soft. Qin Feng realized that she wasn't even wearing a bra. Young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaozhen looked at Qin Feng with an aggrieved expression. Qin Feng patted her head and comforted her. His gaze turned cold as he shouted at the yamen runner, "Who let you in? Get out!" The smile on the bailiff's face suddenly disappeared. He unsheathed the large knife at his waist and swung it at Qin Feng. Hua Xiaozhen screamed in fear, but she saw Qin Feng standing in his original position without moving. Just as the blade was about to land on his head, a loud explosion sounded in the room. Rumble. Blue lightning flashed and disappeared without anyone noticing. The yamen runner who had leaped into the air exploded like fireworks. Blood and flesh splattered on the surrounding walls. In the blink of an eye, he was gone. The crowd outside the house did not know what had happened inside. They only heard a loud noise that felt like an earthquake. Hua Xiaojun was the only one who saw the situation clearly. Her small face had long since turned pale with fright. She saw young Master Qiao take out a bowless crossbow from somewhere and shoot out a blue light to blow up the bailiff to death. Young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she cried. Qin Feng killed a yamen runner. She trembled nervously in Qin Feng's arms. Before she could finish, 6 black shadows jumped into the room. The 6 yamen runners saw the blood and flesh on the walls and almost vomited in disgust. What did you do, brat? Where's little 6? One of the yamen runners asked with a trembling voice. The other 5 people were also dumbfounded. Little 6 had clearly entered the house. Now, there was only Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun in the house. What was left was a pool of blood. Little 6 had clearly been killed. However, this brutal method of killing had shocked this group of ruthless bailiffs. Do you want to know how that idiot died? I can use you to demonstrate it again. Qin Feng looked at the yamen runner with a playful expression. The yamen runner was so scared that his legs were trembling. Last night, they heard that Qiao went to the horseman gang. Then, the horseman gang completely disappeared. This person was too strange. The yamen runners were afraid of him. Don't do anything stupid. I don't want to know how little 6 died, the yamen runner said immediately. Qin Feng's face turned cold. He roared, then get out of here. The 6 yamen runners hurriedly left the room. The woodshed was like hell. They didn't want to go back in even if they were beaten to death. The villagers outside stared at each other. No one knew what had happened inside the house. Zhang Zhen's brows were tightly furrowed. Seeing that his 6 subordinates were so frightened that they could barely walk, he didn't have the courage to enter the woodshed to see what was going on. A group of bailiffs and villagers waited outside the door. Before Qin Feng came out, no one dared to barge in. After waiting for a few minutes, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun came out one after another. Hua Xiaojun was already dressed and was helping Qin Feng put on a silk coat. Qin Feng passed through the crowd and stood in the middle of the yamen runners. He enjoyed Hua Xiaojun's considerate service as if nothing had happened. His actions made the villagers speechless. That was a lord of the yamen, brat, you killed a yamen runner. Zhang Zhen glared at Qin Feng coldly. That guy was spying on my maidservant. Killing him was letting him off easy. Qin Feng didn't avoid the topic. The crowd gasped. The villagers had guessed that the yamen runner who entered the room first was dead. Now that they heard Qin Feng admit it, they felt different. Hua Xiaojun was scared to death. How could young Master Qiao admit this in front of everyone? She hurriedly stood up and anxiously shouted, Lord, young Master Qiao didn't kill that yamen runner. He wanted to take advantage of me, so I stabbed him to death. Hua Xiaojun was too obedient and loyal. Qin Feng liked this girl more and more. Zhang Zhen's expression became colder and colder. He scolded Hua Xiaojun, bullshit. Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? My subordinate has already been killed, and you think you can kill him with a single stab? You're protecting a criminal. Come back to the yamen with me. Zhang Zhen brought people to surround Hua Xiaojun's house early in the morning. His goal was to take Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun away. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she wanted to cry. She wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't want to see young Master Qiao suffer. I killed him. If you want to take him away, then take me back. Don't wrongly accuse young Master Qiao. He really is a good person, Hua Xiaozhen screamed and screamed, but Zhang Zhen didn't listen to her. The villagers were so scared that they didn't dare to make a sound. The Zhou father and son stood in the crowd and smiled strangely. They knew Qin Feng was in trouble. Okay, we'll go back with you. Seeing that the atmosphere was in a deadlock, Qin Feng's words shocked everyone. Even Zhang Zhen was dumbfounded. Young Master Qiao, why you? Hua Xiaozhen looked at Qin Feng dumbfoundedly. She couldn't guess what he was thinking. Wang Shumei rushed over and grabbed Qin Feng's arm. She said, Young Master Qiao, you can't go. If you go, you'll die. Zhang Zhen regained his senses and angrily scolded Wang Shumei, You old bastard, shut up. If you say another word of nonsense, I'll kill you. Wang Shumei looked at Zhang Zhen with fear in her eyes. These people were all officials of the yamen, but they were so cruel to the commoners, killing them at the drop of a hat. How were they any different from the bandits of the horseman gang? Qin Feng had long since disliked Zhang Zhen and the others. However, Hua village wasn't a suitable place to kill. He comforted Wang Shumei and then looked at Hua Xiaozhen and said, Xiaozhen, do you want to go with me or stay at home? Hua Xiaozhen hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly and said without hesitation, If young Master Qiao wants to go, then Xiaozhen will follow you in life and death. Qin Feng had guessed that Hua Xiaozhen would make such a decision. However, when she said it, Qin Feng felt warm inside. He was a stranger in the divine Great Land, and he didn't have any family or friends. However, he had met Hua Xiaozhen, an obedient and loyal maid. He felt lucky. The two left with Zhang Zhen and the others. The villagers stood at the entrance of the village and watched for a long time. Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaozhen and rode on Flaming Dragon Horse. Zhang Zhen and the others were shocked and they saw the handsome horse. Zhou Dafei was telling the truth. This brat really did have a Fergana horse. Zhang Zhen and the others felt their hearts itch. Flaming Dragon Horse was extremely fast and ran at the front. At this time, they had reached the sparsely populated mountainous area. Qin Feng felt that it was time to make his move. He whispered into Hua Xiaozhen's ear, Xiaozhen, you ride Flaming Dragon Horse and leave first. I'll come find you after I kill those people. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she immediately grabbed Qin Feng's sleeve and shook her head with all her might. She said, No, I don't want to leave young Master Qiao. Those bailiffs are very powerful. Young Master Qiao, why don't you take me and escape? Even if you have to go to the ends of the earth, this lowly servant will follow young Master Qiao. Qin Feng rolled his eyes. Weren't they just a few bailiffs at the first level of true qi? There was no need to run for their lives. Xiaozhen, listen to me. I even destroyed the Horseshoe Gang, how could I not defeat those bailiffs? Hua Xiaozhen was stunned for a moment. She still couldn't figure out how young Master Qiao had destroyed the Horseshoe Gang. She suddenly thought of the scene in the woodshed. Young Master Qiao seemed to be hiding a treasure. That thing could kill people without them knowing. It was really too powerful. But. Hua Xiaozhen was still unwilling to leave Qin Feng. Without waiting for her to finish speaking, Qin Feng slapped her perky butt. You servant girl, are you not going to listen to your master? If you dare talk back again, believe it or not, I'll throw you away. Hua Xiaozhen's charming face first blushed, then immediately trembled in panic. She was actually scared to tears. Woo. Young Master Qiao, please calm down. This lowly servant won't talk back again. This lowly servant deserves to be beaten. Qin Feng was about to faint because of this girl. Hua Xiaozhen had developed the rigid mentality of a servant over the past 20 years. She was afraid that the masters she had served in the past were all very cruel. If she did anything wrong, they would slap her. Qin Feng felt a bit uncomfortable. He wanted to find all of Hua Xiaozhen's previous mistresses and slap those lowly women's faces. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site and read the latest. Chapter 1355. Under Qin Feng's persuasion, Hua Xiaozhen finally agreed to leave first. While they were secretly planning, the bailiffs behind them were also discussing in secret. Big brother Zhang, that Fergana horse is so fucking fast. Even our district magistrate's warhorse isn't as good as his, hee hee. Anyway, that Fergana horse will be ours in a bit. That's over 30 gold bars. Big brother Zhang, when do we make our move? Why don't we bring these two to the yamen first? We'll do whatever we want then. The bailiffs all talked at once. Qin Feng had a lot of money on him, and Hua Xiaozhen was a stunning beauty. Now that the horseman gang had been destroyed, they felt that they had been really lucky recently. Zhang Zhen furrowed his brows as he thought of a plan along the way. He didn't want to bring Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen back to the yamen. That way, the money and beauties would all belong to the district magistrate. Zhang Zhen looked around and suddenly said, "Let's go a bit further. We'll make our move when we're near the pass." The dozen or so bailiffs were startled, but they quickly regained their senses. A playful expression appeared on their faces. They had long thought of killing Qin Feng along the way and splitting his money. Now that Zhang Zhen had expressed his opinion, everyone immediately expressed their approval. This area was barren, and not even a ghost could be seen. The main means of transportation in this great land was horses. How could ordinary poor people afford to buy horses? At most, it was merchants who had horse caravans. After walking for a while, Zhang Zhen saw that the environment was about right. He suddenly yelled at the crowd, "Brothers, charge!" The 10 bailiffs were already prepared. With a kick of their legs, the warhorses beneath them immediately galloped forward. Hua Xiaozhen screamed in fright. A trace of a cold smile flashed across Qin Feng's eyes. He was also prepared to make his move nearby. Neigh. Flaming Dragon Horse suddenly neighed. Qin Feng jumped off, and Hua Xiaozhen was carried away by the horse. Flaming Dragon Horse was extremely fast. It was like a ball of fire galloping in the wind. By the time the 10 bailiffs surrounded Qin Feng, Hua Xiaozhen was long gone. "Not good, that woman ran away." Someone cried out in fear. Zhang Zhen also rushed over on his horse. When he saw that Hua Xiaozhen and the Fergana horse had disappeared, he immediately blew his beard and glared at them. "Stinking brat, you really have guts. Stay here and wait for death." Although Zhang Zhen was angry, he felt that it was strange. He saw that Qin Feng was surrounded by everyone, but his expression was still indifferent, as if he couldn't see them. "That's where you're wrong. I'm not staying here to wait for my death. I'm going to kill all of you." Qin Feng sneered. He didn't take these yamen runners seriously at all. Zhang Zhen flew into a rage. He pulled out the large saber at his waist and shouted, "Brat, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I'll give you one last chance to live. Hand over all your assets, and I'll spare your worthless life." The 10 bailiffs had cold expressions on their faces. They rode on their horses and surrounded Qin Feng. Each of them looked like fiends. If an ordinary commoner saw this, they would have knelt down and begged for mercy. "Oh. Do you really want everything I have? I'm just afraid that you won't dare to accept it even if I take it out." Qin Feng had a carefree expression on his face. Everyone was on their guard. They couldn't see through Qin Feng's behavior. There wasn't a trace of true qi flowing in this guy's body. He was obviously an ordinary person. Where did he get his confidence from? "I've lived for so long, and there's nothing I can't pick up. Hurry up and take out your treasures. Zhang Zhen lost his patience and looked impatient. Qin Feng flipped his hand, and a pink sword appeared out of thin air. The long sword didn't move, but it let out a light sword cry. Pink light flowed around the sword as if it had a life of its own. When everyone saw the cosmic flying sword, their eyes immediately widened. Some people's jaws dropped to the ground. They recognized the quality of this spiritual sword at a glance. It was a rare pink equipment. Big brother, this brat actually has a spiritual weapon. Oh no, this is an immortal sword of different quality. If you have this sword, you won't have to fear even if you meet an expert at the second layer of true qi. Exclamations of surprise rang out. These Yamen runners had never seen a rare pink equipment in their lives. At most, they had seen an orange-grade spiritual weapon. One of the Yamen runners couldn't resist the temptation. He was the closest to Qin Feng. He suddenly jumped off his horse and reached out to snatch the cosmic flying sword from Qin Feng's hand. Stinking brat, hurry up and hand over the immortal sword. Otherwise, I'll take your dog life. Qin Feng stood motionless on the ground. A cold smile flashed across his eyes. He raised his hand and threw the cosmic flying sword at the Yamen runner. You really want it? I'll give it to you. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't understand why Qin Feng was so generous. That was a pink spiritual sword. In the hands of Qiao Anhao, it was as if it was of little value. The Yamen runner who jumped over was stunned. He even wondered if he was dreaming. Seeing that the flying sword was about to fall into his hands, the Yamen runner's smile suddenly froze. The flying sword suddenly accelerated. It was so fast that it was dazzling. Before anyone could figure out what was going on, the Yamen runner's body fell from the sky. The instant he hit the ground, his head rolled more than 10 meters away. Only then did blood spurt out from the Yamen runner's neck like a fountain. It was a horrifying scene. At this time, the sun was blazing, but Zhang Zhen and the others were shivering from the cold. An expert at the first stage of true qi had died just like that. No one even knew how he died. Everyone immediately turned to look at Qin Feng. Their eyes were filled with fear. This man's aura was simply too strange. Is there anyone else who wants this immortal sword? I'll give it to him for free. The air froze as Qin Feng's indifferent voice rang out. How could the Yamen runners still dare to take the immortal sword? They felt that it was a life-reaping sword from hell. Zhang Zhen finally came to his senses. 2 of his subordinates had been killed by Qin Feng. At this moment, his eyes were bloodshot with anger. He leaped up and brandished his sword. Stinking brat, let's see how much ability you have, rumble. This sword was wild and unruly. It was like a mountain falling from the sky. Qin Feng didn't dare to take it head-on. His figure suddenly turned into a black shadow and disappeared into thin air. Everyone was startled and hurriedly looked around. All they saw was a pink light drifting erratically in the air. They couldn't determine its position at all. Qin Feng was flying around on his flying sword. This starry sky flying sword was controlled by Qin Feng's mind. Even if he couldn't activate his true qi, he could still move the flying sword. Qin Feng didn't use the flying sword when he exterminated the horseshoe gang. The main reason was that there were too many bandits in the horseshoe gang. Qin Feng couldn't react in time when he had to fight more than 100 true qi realm experts. Now that he was facing 11 true qi level 1 bailiffs, he could barely use the flying sword to fight a guerrilla battle. Whoosh! The sword hummed continuously in the air, scaring the Yamen runners so much that their faces turned pale. They finally understood how their companion had died. It was obvious that he was killed in one move by the flying sword. They originally thought that Qin Feng was just an ordinary commoner. They didn't expect that he even had a pink flying sword. Zhang Zhen and the others regretted their actions so much that their intestines turned green. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world for them to eat. Poochie. The sound of skin being cut spread out. Although it was very soft, it clearly reached everyone's ears. It was as if a muffled thunder had exploded in their hearts. Everyone immediately looked around and saw one of their companions fall from the back of his horse. As soon as he landed, his head rolled out. Blood gushed out. The Yamen runners were so scared that they didn't even know how to speak. They had all killed people before, but this was the first time they had seen someone kill someone like killing a chicken. This wasn't even killing a chicken. This was truly crushing an ant to death. Big brother Zhang, what should we do? Run quickly. The group of Yamen runners had long been thrown into chaos. At this moment, they didn't even have the strength to run, let alone fight. As their voices fell, two crisp sounds rang out in the air. One of the escaping people flew from the back of his horse. The starry sky flying sword pierced through his chest, creating a huge bloody hole. The fear on the other man's face hadn't even subsided when he suddenly grabbed his neck. In the blink of an eye, blood spurted out and his head flew off. In less than 10 seconds, 4 experts at the first stage of true Qi fell to the ground, unable to get up. Zhang Zhen and the remaining 6 people trembled in fear. The air was filled with the smell of death, as if they would be the next ones to be killed. Damn it, we're going to die anyway. Let's go with that bastard. One of the Yamen runners couldn't bear the terrifying atmosphere and suddenly shouted. Just as he was about to swing his blade in the direction of the flying sword, his figure leaped into the air and the long sword pierced through his heart. He fell straight back to the ground. The remaining people didn't dare to speak anymore. Some of them even jumped off their horses and knelt on the ground, begging for mercy. However, the pink light constantly flashed in the surroundings. Every time there was a sound of wind breaking, an expert fell. Swish, swish, swish. Qin Feng displayed his godly skill of killing experts in the blink of an eye. When only Zhang Zhen was left on the ground, he stepped on the flying sword and appeared in the air. He was like a god of war descending from the heavens. Zhang Zhen was no longer as ruthless as before. He was already kneeling on the ground and crazily kowtowing in Qin Feng's direction. Young Master Qiao, please spare this lowly one's life. This lowly one will never dare to offend you again, whoosh. As soon as he finished speaking, the pink light flashed. Zhang Zhen cried out in pain. One of his arms had been pierced by the flying sword. Qin Feng wasn't in a hurry to kill him. He kept him alive because he wanted to ask him some questions. Now, I'll ask you a question. Answer me honestly. Qin Feng's voice was as cold as ice. Zhang Zhen's head was like a chicken pecking at rice. Young Master Qiao, please ask. This lowly one will tell you everything I know. Do you know where the Holy Gate is? Qin Feng went straight to the point. Zhang Zhen was shocked. He didn't expect Qin Feng to ask about the Holy Gate. From Qin Feng's mysterious method of killing people, he guessed that he was most likely a disciple of the Holy Gate. Zhang Zhen felt that Qin Feng was probably injured, which was why he couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. However, these Holy Gate experts had many spiritual weapons and treasures. Dealing with a level 1 true qi ant like him was just a matter of a thought. After thinking about this, Zhang Zhen started to regret. These were people from the Holy Gate. Offending them was simply courting death. Chapter 1356. Zhang Zhen was a bit puzzled. He guessed that Qin Feng was a member of the Holy Gate, so why was young noble Qiao asking about the Holy Gate? Seeing that Zhang Zhen and Hua Xiaozhen had the same answer, Qin Feng was a bit disappointed. He continued to ask, when will the Holy Gate selection begin? Zhang Zhen was even more puzzled, but he didn't dare to ask. According to the time limit of 3 years, there is still half a year left. However, the specific date will be decided by the Holy Gate. It will be announced 1 month in advance, and then the selection will be held at Fire Beacon City. Zhang Zhen told Qin Feng everything he knew. He was afraid that Qin Feng would think that he was hiding something and kill him. Qin Feng learned from Hua Xiaozhen that there were 8 great cities in the Divine Continent, and Fire Beacon City was the 9th city that separated itself from the 8 great cities. This place was not under the control of any sacred sect and was a public land. Qin Feng didn't get any more information even after asking for a long time. His expression gradually turned cold. Zhang Zhen seemed to have noticed the situation and hurriedly said, "Young Master Qiao, please don't kill me. Do you want to go to the sacred gate of Distant Ice City?" The Spirit Beast sect was at Distant Ice City. Qin Feng asked, "Do you have any other way to enter the Holy Gate?" "Originally, I didn't, but now that Distant Ice City and Meteor City are at war, there is a way to contact the Holy Gate disciples." Qin Feng's eyes lit up, but he still said with a cold expression, "Speak." Zhang Zhen trembled in fear and quickly said, "If young noble Qiao spare this lowly one's life, this lowly one can take you to the Yamen." Now that the 2 cities are at war, the Holy Gate disciples at Distant Ice City have come out to fight. They will contact the people from the Yamen to help them. Qin Feng became spirited. He didn't expect this kind of method. He already started to plan how to enter the Yamen and contact the Spirit Beast sect. As for Zhang Zhen's offer to take him back, Qin Feng didn't even consider it. He could see through Zhang Zhen's thoughts with a glance. If he followed Zhang Zhen back to the Yamen, the brat would definitely gather experts to kill him. Swish! While Qin Feng was still in a daze, Zhang Zhen suddenly jumped up with his saber and instantly appeared above Qin Feng's head. Zhang Zhen's cowardly expression greatly changed as he fiercely glared at Qin Feng. The saber in his hand was already raised above his head. The moment it slashed down, he roared at Qin Feng, "Stinking brat, die!" Poochie! The sound of skin being cut rang out. However, it was not Zhang Zhen who had split open Qin Feng's head. There was a flash of pink light, and Zhang Zhen's body was suspended in midair. It was as if someone had cast a body-securing talisman on him. However, a pink flying sword pierced through his chest and supported him in midair. Rumble! With a thought from Qin Feng, the flying sword completely pierced through Zhang Zhen. With a loud explosion, Zhang Zhen turned into a flower of blood. It was no longer possible to see his complete appearance. At this point, Qin Feng had single-handedly annihilated Zhang Zhen and the other 11 true Qi stage experts. He had also obtained some useful information. At this moment, he was in a good mood as he flew down the mountain. By the time he found Flaming Dragon Horse and Hua Xiaozhen, he had already flown over 100 miles on his flying sword. Flaming Dragon Horse was grazing on the side while Hua Xiaozhen was sitting on a rock. Her shoulders were loose and she was crying her heart out. "Little Zhen, why are you crying? Who bullied you?" Qin Feng sheathed his sword and landed on the ground. Hua Xiaozhen was shocked. The moment she saw Qin Feng, her eyes sparkled as if she had found a new life. Hua Xiaozhen's eyes were swollen from crying. She had been crying since the moment she left on Flaming Dragon Horse. She still did not know how powerful Qin Feng was and thought that he had died at the hands of the bailiffs. She had already thought it through. If the bailiffs caught up and confirmed that young Master Qiao was killed, Hua Xiaozhen would smash her head against the stone wall and follow in young Master Qiao's footsteps. She said she would follow him until death, so she would fulfill her promise. Woo woo. Young Master Qiao, is it really you? Little Zhen thought. Hua Xiaozhen did not continue speaking. Just saying those words made her feel incomparably terrified. Now that she was lying in Qin Feng's arms, feeling the warmth and familiar scent of a man, Hua Xiaozhen felt that everything had returned. Qin Feng was speechless by this silly girl. Before they left, he had told her not to worry. It seemed like he had said so much for nothing. Little Zhen, don't cry. I've killed those bad people. Let's go to the yamen now. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen onto Flaming Dragon Horse. Hua Xiaozhen was shocked. Ah! Go to the yamen. Young Master Qiao, let's run for our lives. Hua Xiaozhen could not understand Qin Feng's thoughts. Qin Feng had already killed the bailiffs. Wasn't going to the yamen to die. Run for our lives. Let's go to the yamen to receive our reward. Qin Feng said with a smile. Hua Xiaozhen felt that her brain was not enough to process everything. She looked at Qin Feng in a daze. Young Master Qiao, why you killed the bailiffs, and you still want to receive your reward? Qin Feng could not help but touch Hua Xiaozhen's forehead. He said with a smile, who said I killed the bailiffs? Those bailiffs were all killed by the bandits of the horseman gang. I helped the bailiffs destroy the horseman gang, so of course I have to receive my reward. Is little Zhen going to tell on me? Say that I killed the bailiffs. Hua Xiaozhen suddenly understood Qin Feng's meaning. She was stunned by Qin Feng's boldness and hurriedly shook her head. This lowly servant wouldn't dare. This lowly servant would never say that young Master Qiao killed anyone. This lowly servant, Qin Feng felt helpless when he saw Hua Xiaozhen's frightened expression. He suddenly increased the speed of Flaming Dragon Horse and did not explain anything to this woman. Along the way, Hua Xiaozhen pointed the way, and Qin Feng sped on the horse. When the sun set, the two of them arrived at West Town. There were tens of towns in distant Ice City, and each town had a few mountain villages. West Town was one of the larger towns. The streets were crowded with horses and carriages. It was much more prosperous than Hua Family Village. Wow! Young Master Qiao, look! There's candied haws over there. Hua Xiaozhen remembered that she came to West Town with her mother when she was 5 years old. Later, her mother died in the chaos of war, and Hua Xiaozhen's hard life began. She became a servant girl for rich and noble families at the age of 6. Now, more than 10 years had passed. She never thought that she would come to West Town with a man. Hua Xiaozhen was attracted by the prosperity of West Town, and her personality became bolder. She sat on Flaming Dragon Horse and chattered like a cheerful little bird. Qin Feng pulled Flaming Dragon Horse and stopped next to the old woman selling candied haws. Old Granny, give me 2 sticks of candied haws. The old woman saw that Qin Feng was wearing silk-embroidered clothes and was riding a large horse. She appeared to be a bit afraid of Qin Feng, so she immediately gave him 2 sticks of candied haws. Young master, I'll give you the candied haws for free. Young master, have a safe journey. The old woman didn't dare take the money, so Qin Feng threw her 2 silver coins. These silver coins were obtained from the bodies of the Horsehead Gang and the bailiffs. After all, the gold bars were too eye-catching, and Qin Feng didn't plan on easily taking them out in the future. The old woman and Hua Xiaozhen were both shocked. Those 2 sticks of candied haws were at most half a copper coin. This Qin Feng was simply too generous. Young master, you can't do this. This is too much money. Even a lowly commoner wouldn't be able to change it. The old woman immediately returned the money to Qin Feng. Hua Xiaozhen also said anxiously, Young Master Qiao, this lowly servant doesn't want the candied haws. This lowly servant just said it casually. It's all this lowly servant's fault, lowly servant. Qin Feng realized that Hua Xiaozhen was going to hit him again, so he immediately hugged her arm. He took the 2 sticks of candied haws and immediately disappeared on his horse. He was already afraid of the people of China's closed mindset. Hua Xiaojun held a candied haw in one hand and felt like she was dreaming. She only remembered eating this thing when she was young. At that time, she was also her mother's little darling. However, when Hua Xiaojun remembered that these 2 sticks of candied haws cost young Master Qiao 2 silver coins, she immediately became nervous. However, she also felt warm and sweet. This was the first time she met a master who bought things for this lowly servant. "You lowly commoner, how dare you scare my horse? I think you're tired of living." Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun momentarily forgot about going to the bailiffs and strolled along the bustling streets of West Town. There was a commotion in front of them. Many people had gathered there, and it seemed like something had happened. Qin Feng rushed over on horseback. When the crowd saw his horse, they immediately gave way and looked at him with fear. Among the crowd stood a man and a woman. The man was dressed luxuriously and held a wooden folding fan in his hand. It was obvious that he was a disciple of a wealthy family. The woman, on the other hand, was dressed in coarse cotton clothes. Her hair was dull yellow due to the lack of nutrition. She was carrying a child who had not been weaned yet and was crying loudly. The rich man kept cursing and threatening the woman. The woman was so frightened that she trembled. The child in her arms cried even louder. The woman felt sorry for the child and patted the child's body. "Woman, are you deaf or mute? Don't think you'll be fine just because you're pretending to be deaf and mute. Hurry up and tell your child to shut up. It's his crying that scared my horse. If he dares to cry again, I'll throw him to his death." After watching for a while, Qin Feng finally understood. The woman's child's crying had scared the carriage at the side. Because of this, the rich man became overbearing. This scene made many people sigh inwardly and inwardly criticize the man for being narrow-minded. However, in this chaotic era of war, no one dared to voice their anger. Moreover, everyone knew the man's identity. He was the only son of the county magistrate of the West Town Yamen, Wei Chongming. "Young Master Qiao, that man is so bad. The woman is so pitiful." Hua Xiaojun was kind-hearted and could not bear to watch any longer. However, she could only sigh. As a lowly servant, she did not dare to ask Qin Feng for help. The woman was so frightened that she actually knelt on the ground in front of everyone. She raised her head and begged, "Young Master Wei, it's all my son's fault. I apologize on behalf of my son. I hope that young Master Wei can be magnanimous and spare my son and me this time." The sighs in the crowd became even more obvious. Wei Chongming spat on the woman and reprimanded her, "Tui. A lowly commoner like you dares to beg for mercy. Do you know how precious my horse is? This is a dark horse that I bought with 10 gold coins. Even if I kill you, I can't afford it." Chapter 1357. The young woman was scared to death, and the child in her arms cried even louder. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts, but Wei Changming didn't show any pity. Instead, he showed an arrogant expression. His gaze fell on the young woman's small face. This woman was delicate and pretty, and her skin was fair and tender. It made Wei Changming have some evil thoughts. "It's not impossible for me to spare you, but it depends on your performance." Wei Changming leisurely fanned himself while looking at the young woman with a playful expression. The woman quickly stopped kowtowing and said, "As long as young Master Wei can spare my son, this lowly commoner will do anything." Everyone was puzzled. This Wei Changming had always been a petty and calculative person. Why did he suddenly change today? However, they heard him say shamelessly, "Take off your shirt in front of everyone. I see that your child is crying so hard. He must be hungry. Quickly feed him something." The young woman was stunned and stared at Wei Changming in disbelief. She didn't expect him to say such vulgar words in front of everyone. The crowd started to complain. Even though they knew Wei Changming's identity, his actions completely angered everyone. This person is too shameless. Who does he think he is? He bullies people in West Town just because he is the son of the district magistrate. How can such an evil person not be struck by lightning? Sigh. That girl is so pitiful. She won't be able to escape today. Wei Changming immediately pulled a long face when he heard those words. He stretched out his hand and slapped the man closest to him. Damn it, what are you mumbling about? Do you want to die? If anyone dares to say anything else, I'll take him back to the yamen. This slap scared everyone. Everyone lowered their heads and didn't dare to look Wei Changming in the eyes. With his powerful identity, who would dare to resist? Seeing that the crowd had quietened down, Wei Changming stared at the young woman with a cold expression. You are indeed a group of lowly commoners. This young master is kind enough to give you a chance to correct your mistake, but you're not happy. If that's the case, then let your child fall to death and compensate for the frightening matter of my horse. Wei Changming lost his patience and rushed forward to snatch the child from the young woman's arms. The young woman was so scared that tears flowed down her cheeks. She suddenly pulled open the belt on her waist and said, Young Master Wei, I'll take it off now. The crowd could not bear to watch any longer. Many of the old men turned their heads away from the scene. Some even left angrily, cursing Wei Changming's 18 generations of ancestors in their hearts. That young woman cried as she took off her clothes, revealing her white and tender shoulders. Wei Changming stared blankly at her, unscrupulously standing in front of the young woman, unable to move his eyes away. However, just as he was watching, Wei Changming's expression changed drastically. He glared angrily at Qin Feng, who was tugging on the young woman's clothes, and yelled, Stinking brat, do you want to die? Qin Feng pretended not to see Wei Changming. He straightened the young woman's clothes, helped her up, and stood behind him. Take the child and leave. The young woman was startled, but she didn't dare to move. This young master, thank you for your kindness, but you should leave. The young woman was very kind. She was afraid of implicating Qin Feng, so before she could finish speaking, Hua Xiaozhen had already grabbed her arm and pulled her out. Wei Changming was so angry that his neck was red. He yelled at the young woman, If you dare to leave today, I'll make it so that you won't be able to live in West Town anymore. The young woman was so scared that she trembled. Hua Xiaozhen forcefully pulled her, but she didn't dare to leave. Wei Changming's eyes suddenly lit up, and his gaze fell on Hua Xiaozhen. He had played with all the beauties in West Town, but he had never seen someone as lovely and moving as Hua Xiaozhen. You, get over here. Wei Changming tossed Qin Feng to the side. After his gaze fell on Hua Xiaozhen, he couldn't move his eyes away. The crowd shook their heads and sighed. They knew that Hua Xiaozhen and Qin Feng were out of luck. Both of them were kind, but how could they defeat Wei Changming? Hua Xiaozhen didn't recognize Wei Changming, but she was a bit afraid. She pulled the young woman and hid behind Qin Feng. What do you want? It's not easy for this big sister to raise a child, so why do you have to make things difficult for her? Hua Xiaozhen looked like a silly child, and the crowd shook their heads again. Everyone felt that Hua Xiaozhen was too young, so she didn't know the evils of society. Wei Changming didn't need a reason to bully people. He didn't care if you were pitiful or not, and he would bully you whenever he wanted to. Wei Changming sneered and yelled at Hua Xiaozhen, You lowly commoner, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know who this young master is? I'm the only son of the county magistrate. These words made Hua Xiaozhen dumbstruck. Even Qin Feng was slightly startled. He was just about to go to the yamen to find the county magistrate, but he didn't expect to run into the county magistrate's son first. Hua Xiaojun realized that she had caused big trouble, and she felt a wave of regret. She had implicated young Master Qiao again. Young Master Wei, please forgive us. We didn't mean to offend you. Hua Xiaojun was so anxious that tears welled up in her eyes. She wanted to slap herself for always causing trouble for young Master Qiao. Wei Changming saw that Hua Xiaojun was afraid and laughed loudly. Haha. You want me to forgive you? Sure, do the same thing as that woman. Take off all your clothes. Hua Xiaojun was so angry that her little face turned red. She was now Qin Fang's servant, and she had always treated her body as Qin Fang's. Now that she was being humiliated, she felt like she was humiliating young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojun wanted to say something, but Qin Feng stood up and said, Young Master Wei, right? You're acting like a tyrant just because you're the county magistrate's son. Is there any law breaking in West Town? Wei Changming had forgotten about Qin Feng, so he didn't expect him to suddenly jump out. With a cold expression, he yelled, Stinking brat, you dare to meddle in my business. How am I acting like a tyrant? It was clearly that lowly commoner's child who scared my horse. It's only right for me to want her to apologize. Wei Changming was unreasonable. However, just as he finished speaking, the flaming dragon horse suddenly neighed as if it had gone mad. It even leaped around, scaring the crowd. Even Wei Changming was frightened, and he moved a few meters away from Qin Feng. Qin Feng said as if nothing had happened, You saw it. Because of your roar just now, it scared my Fergana horse. Tell me, how are you going to compensate me? Wei Changming was suddenly stunned. It had always been him looking for trouble. Who would have thought that someone would look for trouble with him today? Fuck your grandpa. What does your horse's insanity have to do with me? I suspect that this horse has a plague. I'm going to kill it right now. Wei Changming was so angry that he went to find a knife. Qin Feng laughed coldly, My horse neighed because it went mad. Your horse neighed because it was scared by someone. According to what you said, you should kill your horse first. I suspect that it also has a horse plague. Qin Feng's words stunned Wei Changming on the spot, and he couldn't even retort. The crowd cried out in surprise. They were all shocked by Qin Feng's glib tongue. This person actually dared to reason with Wei Changming. In the end, he even made Wei Changming dumbfounded. The young woman was dumbfounded, and Hua Xiaojun looked at Qin Feng with stars in her eyes. Her reliance and admiration for young Master Qiao deepened day by day, and she was unable to free herself. You wicked commoner, are you purposely looking for trouble with me? Do you believe that I won't call the bailiffs to come and arrest you right now? Wei Changming couldn't argue with Qin Feng, so he used his identity to scare him. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear him. I'll already run when the bailiffs come. How about I go to the yamen with you? Everyone was shocked. They couldn't understand what Qin Feng was thinking. Even Wei Changming was stunned. Why you want to go to the yamen with me? What? Are you afraid of me? Qin Feng smiled calmly. Wei Changming was instantly delighted. If Qin Feng dared to go to the yamen with him, he had 100 ways to play Qin Feng to death. He even suspected that this person was crazy. Benefactor, don't go. The young woman hurriedly ran over. She was slightly afraid of Wei Changming, but she still reminded Qin Feng. Hua Xiaojun was also worried. She knew that young Master Qiao came to West Town to go to the yamen, but now that he had offended the son of the county magistrate, wouldn't he be seeking death by going to the yamen? Young Master Qiao, why you? Hua Xiaojun also wanted to persuade Qin Feng, but the words didn't come out. She thought that she was only young Master Qiao's lowly servant. How could she always persuade young Master Qiao? What if she annoyed young Master Chiao and he didn't want her anymore? Qin Feng understood what Hua Xiaojun meant. He gave her a reassuring look, then looked at Wei Changming and said, "Are you going or not? If you're not going to the Yamen, I'll be leaving first." Wei Changming was speechless at Qin Feng. It was the first time he had seen someone like Qin Feng who was so eager to die. The three of them left together. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaojun and rode on the fiery dragon horse, while Wei Changming rode on the big black horse. Because of Qin Feng's interference, Wei Changming forgot about the young woman. The young woman carried the crying child and watched Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun gradually disappear into the distance. Tears streamed down her face, and she knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times in the direction that the two of them left. The surrounding crowd shook their heads and sighed. They were also infected by Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun's kindness and courage. However, everyone thought that the two of them were going to die, and they felt extremely sorry for them. If Qin Feng knew what those people were thinking, he would definitely be depressed to death. He was bringing Hua Xiaojun to the Yamen to receive the reward, so why were they sad? Moreover, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun didn't know where the Yamen was. Now that they had a little brother to guide them, it saved Qin Feng a lot of trouble. West Town was neither big nor small. After going around half the town, they arrived in front of the Yamen. "Young Master Chiao, we. Hua Xiaojun looked at the majestic Yamen and began to feel nervous again. Qin Feng patted her back and said, "Don't worry. What's there to be afraid of with me by your side?" However, Qin Feng's words made Hua Xiaojun's nervous heart suddenly calm down. She stole a glance at Qin Feng's resolute side profile with infatuation. Yes, to be able to stay with young Master Chiao at all times, regardless of life or death, what was there to be afraid of? "Wang Long, Li Hu, where did your 2 grandsons go? Someone bullied this young master. Come out and cripple him." Wei Changming was silent along the way because he felt that he couldn't beat Qin Feng. As soon as he arrived at the Yamen, he immediately roared at the courtyard, "You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."